Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you happen to be in the world. Welcome to tradertv.live. Futures pointing to a bit of a bounce back coming up at the open this morning as we rebound off of yesterday's sell-off. We did see a little bit of profit taking come into the market yesterday on fears of increased or decreased, I should say, global economic growth. And that's all surrounding concerns over the Delta variant, of course, for COVID-19. Market still kind of keeping an eye on the 10-year Treasury, the yield. Bouncing back nicely this morning, back to 1.34%. So kind of easing some of those fears of less growth coming back into the markets. The falling yield kind of mystified investors over the past couple of days. We got down to 1.25, if you remember, at the open yesterday. Overall, though, we're seeing stocks that declined the most yesterday, showing some strength here early on in the pre-market this morning. So we'll talk about some of the travel names coming up. Airlines back to the upside, some cruise lines starting to bounce as well, even with some cautious analyst notes surrounding that. We're also going to look at some big tech stocks. President Biden set to announce a new executive order aimed at competitive practices in that space today. So we'll talk about some of those names. The meme stocks moving around again today as well. AMC, what a move late in the day yesterday, both back to the upside and then a bit of a sell-off into the close. And we'll talk about Boeing as well. Nice move late in the day yesterday, trying to extend some positivity here in the early going as well for Boeing. It's Friday, July 9th, 2021. TraderTV.live starts now. There we go. As mentioned, nicely positive so far for North American futures right across the board. The Dow 0.73 right now leading the way. S&P up about 0.5%. You can see NASDAQ a little bit cautious here, basically flat on the morning so far. Crude oil bouncing back as well, 0.8% to the upside. You can see at the bottom there, Ethereum extending declines. Remember, big down day yesterday, 2.95%. Again today, Bitcoin basically flat at this point, but worth watching. Some of the crypto markets. Once again, guys, we made it to Friday. Welcome. It is a holiday short week, so we got here pretty quick. Interesting day setting up here. Lots of different angles to take. There's another EV company going public, that Polestar SPAC merger announced today. We'll talk about that. That one's been around for a while. I was checking early on this morning. It was 2006, I believe. Founded for Polestar. So, I mean, these cars are on the roads now. So we'll talk about Polestar coming up. But some tech names worth watching today.
Yeah, absolutely. Welcome back. It's the end of the week, and it should be an interesting one after yesterday's slight sell-off. It wasn't even that big of a down day, but when the market's going that strong, you kind of react to it here. Hey, over the weekend, we had that test flight. Sir Richard Branson is going to be going into space. Virgin Galactic right up at that 51 level, down a couple of percent. So this is going to be on watch again today. You mentioned the Polestar, but there's another interesting IPO. Well, I mean, there's going to be a Robinhood, but there's another interesting one that'll be finally coming to market. It's been around a while. And Stripe. They're going to go the direct listing route, but we should get an idea when that's going to come, and that should be an exciting one. I'm excited to see how this space flight goes this weekend. I mean, I don't know, Bezos comes back and is like, yeah, but I'm going to 62 miles, and that's like the real limit when you go into space. It's like there's two lines, one's like 50 miles, one's like 62. Who gives a darn? I hope for a successful flight, but you could see some interesting price action. There's been wild moves all week in Virgin Galactic, and I would expect to see a little bit more of that going into, especially going into the close, but certainly we'll have some opportunities at the open as well. So it's going to be an interesting way to end off the week, and plenty to watch over the weekend, including a pretty decent football match.
49. Yeah, it's gonna be a great game, no matter what. There between Italy and what's it? I forget who they're facing. Okay.
It's like that, eh?
Yeah, some team that doesn't deserve to be there. I don't know who it is. Can't remember.
Oh, wow.
But it's some team.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay, that's how it's gonna be.
I think it's some team that's never really won before. It'll come up to me when it comes. I'll figure out what it is. Okay, AMC. Look, it's going to be a big day. Friday is finally here, so we're happy for that. It's been a fast week, and we don't like it when the week comes to an end because there's no trading on the weekend unless you trade crypto, and crypto's moving around a little bit. I did lighten up some of my positions yesterday, which is sad because It's so low right now. But we are lightening up a little bit on crypto there. We got a note. I actually want to talk to Mark Roberts. Is Mark here today?
Yeah.
Okay, good, because he sent out a note about Grayscale and Bitcoins coming off lockup. So I don't even understand what that means. So I'm going to figure that out, and we're going to see what's happening with Grayscale and GBTC. Yeah, look, I think today's a little bit of a bounce back day. We said yesterday, do not panic. I put out videos about that, and I hope that no one did panic yesterday, didn't sell into some of those bottoms, because today you are getting that rebound. Not scared at all about Joe Biden's big little tech announcements here today. I think it's just going to be one of those things where they're going to waste taxpayers' money looking into things like this. Facebook obviously down 0.1% today. So there's Facebook saying hold my beer. What's Microsoft saying to these guys as well? Probably the same thing. Yeah, down a little bit more than everything else, but the NASDAQ holding up on that. That used to be a bad headline, right? And now it doesn't seem to be moving too many of these stocks. So we'll wait for the tech community to react today when President Biden speaks a little bit. And we'll be watching NEO, DD. Our watch list is pretty packed today. There's lots on it.
Yeah, going to be interesting. Some cautious comments right across the board when it comes to cryptocurrency markets. Oh, I see everyone's okay because Mark Roberts has green on today. So I'll spoil that little secret. So stand by for Mark coming up here in a second. Before we get to him, let's get over to the desk and say good morning to Miss V, who does not, Miss V, have green on today.
I gave a chance to Mark, Brendan. Hi guys, happy Friday to you all. I wish you a wonderful day to finish this trading week in a profitable and positive territory. And please make sure you like this video and subscribe to our channel. Let's get it started, Brendan.
Let's indeed get it started, guys. Want to kick things off here. I had a picture of this thing. I wanted to show you, everyone who has never seen one of these, we'll show you the Polestar number 2. So this is the second version of the Polestar. So they're going public in a merger with Gores Guggenheim. So another EV company to talk about and possibly trade. We'll watch Gores Guggenheim, the SPAC, who is going to take Polestar public, guys. This car has been around for a while, as we mentioned. Decent looking car. It's on the road as we speak. What do we think here?
That actually looks pretty good. I mean, like this is a crowded space, and it's hard to. At the end of the day, I think everyone has an understanding that sure, this is going to be the future, but at what point are you trying to pick your winners and your losers? And a bunch of these are not going to be winners. There's just almost no way. This is, for me, I like GM. Sean likes a Ford. I like Tesla. I just find you got to pick. You got to pick and choose, and I feel like the established names are sort of the way to go. I'm skeptical of too many players in the game. There's a few other good names out there. And this one has been around a while. I think for a trade, there's always usually going to be an active trade there. I think I'm more talking about just the overall space in general. And it's like trying to pick the winner in the Chinese names, and now all of a sudden you have that risk as well. So I think we might have a bit of a trade on there. Just when it comes to that long term, yeah, it looks a little bit prettier, but then the candy, but that's not saying much.
I mean, do we really have to call up charts of Lordstown, charts of Fisker, charts of Nikola? Who else? CCIV. I mean, what? I mean, here's the ride. Look, I mean, if you're going to take it, I think now is a good time to take any of these recent mergers because when they first come out to market, like a day like today, when people like us are talking about it, that's when maybe you get some excitement in some of these bumps. But when you come back down to reality, there's only so many electric vehicles that are going to be sold, period, worldwide. And I don't think people are going to be pushing to some of these lesser known vehicles. I do understand that this has been around since 2006. I don't even know the symbol. What is the symbol anyways?
PI.
GG?
PI.
PI, okay, so 1081, 1080 here. So I think if you're gonna get involved with something, this is probably the right time to do it when you get these announcements. So there it is, up to 1050. You can't really worry about any of these past levels, 365,000 shares so far in the pre-market. We do have nice bottoms. So again, if you're willing to lose $1 on this, then you do have that bottom area where you can get out. I think it's just a lot of talk, and I don't know, for me, it's uninvestable. For right now, but it could be a good trade, and that's what we're here for, is for trade. So I'm already hella long GM, Tesla, and Ford, and I've sold my Fisker, And that's about it. I still think I have a few Nikola shares from back in the day because we bought that when it first started coming out. So that's going to be a negative trade for me. But Ford, GM, and Tesla is where my mind is going to be whenever someone mentions electric vehicles.
All right, let's bring in Mark Roberts here and get his take on a Friday morning, holiday shortened week, as we mentioned. Good to see you, Mark. Welcome back. It is green, right? My monitor is not the greatest. It's a little blue-green, I guess.
I would say it's fishy green.
Perfect. That'll work. Yeah, they're saying it's steel. Or teal, I guess. Yeah, let's talk about the overall market here, guys. We had a little bit of, obviously, a pullback yesterday. Bounce back day today, possibly. Was that just kind of a blip on the radar, or what do we think here?
I think between too much complacency and too many people feeling valuations should be where they were, whether it was in consumer brands or otherwise, it got to a boiling point and then proceeded to roll. The IWM, I had a short sale in, that worked out great. And then right near the bottom, I was waiting for Europe to close, but I started getting buy alerts early on, and I bought a ton of names near the bottom. So I think it's a one-off for the moment.
So, I mean, going forward here, what's it going to take, Mark, to get this, market back in gear, kind of back where everybody wants it, back to the upside? I mean, we are seeing a nice bounce here. It's 0.5%. Do we sustain this?
Yeah, the problem's going to be your COVID, your variants, whether we need another booster. There's a lot of conversation now that you do. Getting vaccinated, they're trying to do, each state is trying to do everything they can to get vaccinated. It's a mess. And the problem is, I think we may see more dark skies before we see light at the end of the tunnel going into September.
A lot of question marks around the Olympics over in Japan, obviously. I was reading late in the day yesterday that Japan has one of the lowest vaccinated rates for their population. It was around 15% only, and the Olympics are coming. We talked about the 10-year the last time you were on, back higher again today, 125 yesterday, back to 134 yesterday, or today, I should say. What do we attribute this to? Is it, again, just kind of an anomaly for this week?
I think it's an anomaly. I think we're going to see the low end more around 120 and the upper end more than around 170. I'm going with by the dip on the yield. So yesterday was a perfect case where you knew they had to bounce back. I knew the dollar had to do some reversal, and stocks started to come back into fashion.
I wanted to ask you about this stamps.com deal, because this kind of came out of nowhere. No one was really talking about this or anticipating. But $6.6 billion for stamps.com?
Here's the basic problem. Private equity has more money than they know what to do with. I'm not sure what their mandates are, but let's assume for a minute you've given money as an investor to a private equity fund. Within 2 years, they have to be using the money. Otherwise, I think in many cases, they may have to return the money. So there has been more of a push for M&A. I think while rates are low, it makes a lot of sense. And I think these private equity funds have to put money to work.
Mark, thank you, my friend. We've decided that it's either a San Jose Shark teal-colored shirt or Charlotte Hornets. But people are throwing around words like turquoise.
Turquoise.
Is that a good one? Is that more what it's like?
I like that.
I like that too. I'm in the all black Trader TV. I know you got the mug there somewhere. We'll have to get you a T-shirt as well, my friend. Okay, quickly here. You said you passed us. Oh, there it is. Hey, cheers.
Cheers.
Great minds think alike. Okay, so you sent us a note about Bitcoin and grayscale lockup. I didn't really realize that this was even something that's happening, which I have to say is like a slap in my face, because I do trade Bitcoin and I should know about these things. But apparently here, and I just got this off from Cointelegraph.com right now, 16,000 Bitcoins are being unlocked, and I think it was July 18th or so. Yeah, here it is here. 16,240 there will become available, and they're saying that a lot of that was institutional holders, mainly possibly ARK there on the last tranche there for GBTC getting money in. What you know, I don't even really know what this means, Mark. Have you done any work or looked into this at all? Because I know for me, I did lighten up. I said this yesterday. Part of it was due to your note and me looking into this a little bit and looking at this 30,000 level and just thinking that we probably break 30 before we test 40 again. So get a little light in here in case that does happen. What are you thinking about this? And does that necessarily mean that they have to sell all 16,000 Bitcoins, or that just goes into institutional accounts? Because I'm not sure institutions will be selling it.
I'm not exactly sure. I have to do some more work on that. But I'm with you that we see below 30 before we see above 40. I think Elizabeth Warren, Senator Elizabeth Warren, is all over the SEC and the other agencies to do some real homework on crypto. I'm not convinced that you're not going to see some extreme regulation because this administration tends to go either end of the spectrum. So I'm more nervous than I am jubilant, if you will. So I'm going to hold off on making a comment, but I want to do some more work on that lockup.
Yeah, same. I was just showing their Ether and BTC. I mean, trading one in themselves there. Okay, we did talk a little bit about electric vehicles. We kind of know your opinion there. GM today does come out with, again, some upgrades, some good news there regarding GM. And you can see here today, up that 4% and a nice little move there, trying to retake the 50-period moving average. It probably will do that today, at least on our chart. I think it may be a little bit lower, though. Looking at a $60 level. Has GM made a move off the bottom here? And now that we're kind of stuck in the middle of this range, do we wait for it to break out? Is this a investable story today? What's your opinion on maybe GM and Ford as a group, or just GM by itself is fine?
I'm in GM, so I'm going to stick to GM for the moment. If the market should have an ugly series of days, I would buy some Ford. But right now, GM, it's a buy on dips. I still look for the clusters as support, and the moving averages are always important. But I'm not as concerned as they seem to be getting their act together.
Yeah, I agree, Mary Barra. Everything's working at GM, and they're really focusing now in the right space, and seems to be a good headwind. Plus, it's the American story, right, with GM and Ford, and like you said, a lot of private equity money on the sidelines. Maybe I think they're too big for anybody to take a stake in, but we'll see that. What about, we get questions all the time because I think young investors alike are in names like Penn and DraftKings. Penn has taken a 50% haircut here from March of 2021, so just literally a couple months ago, all the way from 140 down to 70, and the chart doesn't look nice here for Penn, nor does it look great for DraftKings, and I'm a little bit embarrassed again because we saw 53, 52, 53 a couple times here on DraftKings in the last month or so, and then faded off of that. Now it looks like we caught a bottom yesterday, thank God, around that 45, 46 mark. But what about Penn? What about DraftKings? Are they something now that we start to look at, now that, you know, we're getting through summer? I mean, summer's here, but through summer, looking at the next quarter with football, looking at a few more possible gambling situations. Plus, of course, Penn is involved in the casinos, so they actually have some brick and mortar spots as well. Is there a favorite in this spot? Or we have to let these go down a little bit more? Remember, the earnings is still in question for both of these companies.
Yeah, I think as friends were telling me yesterday in the wealth management area, they were buying a lot of Penn on that dip.
Okay.
I'm not in either of these at the moment, but DraftKings around the $40 area seems most interesting to me. Again, another cluster. And then the other side would be Penn somewhere in that, we'll call it 68, 70 area.
Yeah.
I'd be a very interested buyer.
Yeah, so we're not even that far away. I mean, one more red day, and these stocks probably begin to fall down. One more stock here, Mark, and then we'll get your pick of the day if you have one that we can discuss. I would love to do that as well if you have a name. So my name today is going to be Boeing. We've seen a few dramatic moves recently. We did have, I believe it was earlier this week or was it last week when we did have, unfortunately, a cargo plane, had that mishap. So that caused the stock to dip down here to that 225 level. No, that was yesterday. Sorry, it was. I can't remember what level it actually dipped down to. It must have been part of this move here. And then yesterday we dipped down, and then we get that news about the 737 in China. What is your opinion here? Again, I think we're going to be probably pretty neutral on this, as we are at the 50-period moving average. We don't really see too many clusters here other than this little break top back from December of 2020. We have this 243, 244 level there. I'm not really super interested in Boeing at these levels. I was a buyer, as we talked about numerous times, down here around 200 when I felt like that was maybe a little bit of a base. Obviously, down 180, 190, we could travel back there. But I feel like, the headwinds may be, leaving, may have disappeared now for Boeing temporarily, and hopefully it might have some tailwinds now with maybe China putting through an order for some more planes, and then you get some more safety records coming through. What do we think about Boeing? And this is just about Boeing rather than Airbus. I mean, this is not a talk about LUV or anything like that. What about Boeing as an investable asset at this point?
I was hoping it was going to get to 216 yesterday.
Yeah.
That's where my buy alert was. It didn't. It got awful close. At this point, I have to be neutral.
Yeah. So when you're talking about buy alerts, just because we do get a lot of questions about this, do you put your orders and sit at certain levels, or does your screener just sort of start firing off some names to you throughout the day, and then you'll sit down and take a better look? Do you go sort of like, no matter what, you trust your alerts, and regardless, you're in when those get hit? Or is that just something that puts your interest back on the name?
I put price alerts in because I'm not smart during the day to be jumping and chasing.
Right.
So I ended up buying 9 names yesterday.
Jeez.
All at levels that I really wanted to own the stocks. So if I had to pick one that I was happy finally buying, was your favorite local name, MGA.
Oh, okay, good. Yeah, that's you know what, we gotta love Magna there, and it's a big one. So MGA over there on New York. I forget what the symbol is in Toronto, but there it is, MGA. So you finally got into that one, and I guess that's the play there against the auto parts, or sorry, for the auto parts with the EV name, right? So Magna International.
Perfect.
Yeah, doing a lot of deals, and then therefore you're in the parts business, and some of the parts sometimes equal then greater than the whole there. So we'll see. Thank you for Magna. We'll get into that, and I guess that triggered you in at around 88-ish, 88, 89.
Let's see, Magna, 88.19.
There it is, 88.19. Yeah, great little level there, a nice little dip below. That's actually a really decent buy there. Thank you, Mark. That's a good idea. I have been looking to try to get into this, but it was just off to the races there. And now a nice little dip buy there with a dividend. So thank you, Mark Roberts from Sun Lake Strategies. It's always a fun time. And as you said the day before, we know you're cheering for Italy.
Nice try, Sean.
I know he's not. As soon as I figure out who they're playing,
From England.
yeah, I'll figure out who they're playing on Sunday. Apparently, it's some other team that likes to play football. I'm not sure who they are,
Just
but
keep shaking the head, Mark.
apparently it's in Wembley, so we'll see. Should be some advantageous fans there. But thank you, Mark Roberts. We're always having a lot of fun, and we'll continue. Thank you for the relationship, Mark Roberts, Sun Lake Strategies, a friend of the show. Have a great weekend.
Have a great weekend.
Thanks.
All right, guys, let's get some upgrades and downgrades for today. A few notable names on here this morning. American Express a couple of times in the past couple of weeks, catching Barclays upgrade today. Costco's here, Bed Bath & Beyond. DocuSign at the bottom down here, just getting into positive territory. XL Fleet to the downside today on a price target cut and downgrade, and Cloudera on the downgrade side as well, guys.
I mean, Costco yesterday in a down market, continuing its breakout through that 400, showing all kinds of strength there. So it's been a good one. And look, if you're looking for the reasons why everyone's talking about how we had that slight pullback and, you know, like not saying there's going to be lockdowns, but a slow in the economy because of the variants and those concerns. I mean, Costco because of the variants and those concerns. I mean, Costco is sort of one of those, I suppose, safe plays if you had some of those concerns. And of course, just strength of the overall economy. You can play it both ways in a name like that. And I think that's why it looks pretty darn good off this breakout. And on any dip, you've seen one that already showed that it can be a little bit strong there. So Costco, an interesting name on that list. Interestingly enough, I didn't check Bed Bath & Beyond. Just noticed that one back up there, a couple of percentage on an upgrade. We know what that can do usually when it starts to get going, although it's not a ton of action so far pre-market.
All right, guys. Yeah, so I was just looking at that Costco, and I can't believe that. I missed the boat. Like, wow. I've been loving Costco for such a long time and haven't really been able to get into this name. And there it is, the breakthrough, 400. I mean, this is what a fantastic break this was. And this is, I see some questions there. I think you might have answered it, but it was about clusters and things like that. And that's what Mark Roberts and myself, and we all talk about them on the show, so we just talked about it now. What he means by that is this. It's just consolidation. So you get these cluster buys, and then you get a breakout, cluster areas, and then you get a breakout. It could go either way, but that's the kind of cluster. And then I love this kind of thing because it coincides with back testing, back to December where we tested these levels. And then you get the break, and that's why you get a nice little bump up in Costco. One of the better names to own for sure in the retail space. Look, whenever you get a percentage of your revenues are coming from subscription, the street loves that. And Costco members, I don't know any person, honestly, I don't know one person, maybe you do, Brendan. No, I know you don't have a membership, Neil. That's not what I was getting at.
Oh, okay.
I was going to say that anybody that's canceled a membership that they've had from Costco, it just seems, for me anyways, we've had one. It's absolutely fantastic. What, Valeria? They don't have Costco in Russia, do they? No, they don't, right? Okay, Valeria looking at me like I'm crazy. I am, but not about Costco. I think everybody loves Costco. That goes there. But anyways, okay, let's move on. My mother gets your prescriptions filled from there. I think it's like the cheapest place ever. So shout out to you, Mom. But anyways, that's my little rant there on Costco, and I just wish I was in that name. I love Magna there, International from Mark Roberts. That's a decent name if you want to get part of the automotive space without having to risk anything on the EV side of things.
Great looking chart there on Costco on the daily time frame. Let's get into a few names that are moving around in the pre-market this morning. We mentioned it briefly, but we'll start off with big tech here, guys. On watch today, I mean, it's a little bit of a quiet start to the morning in the pre-market here. I was just looking at Apple, basically flat. Facebook, we saw basically flat. All kind of a wait and see approach, I guess, ahead of this expected announcement from U.S. President Biden, an executive order coming through as far as the competitive practices, or to address, I should say, the competitive practices in this space.
So first things first, you know what Amazon did yesterday. It's sort of a similar theme to Costco, right? Where you had a bit of a down day and you had one of the stronger names that are going to be in Amazon. I kind of said this in the chat. You guys know I trade like M&A and buyouts. A lot of this chatter, and there's going to be some increased scrutiny on bank deals as well. This is going to probably make it better for M&A trading because deals are going to take longer to close because they're just going to scrutinize them more. I think that's it. Look, it's not. It's certainly a part of how big tech grows, and acquisitions is a big kind of part of it. I think this is where it's going to lie. Most of the other stuff that they talk about is not likely to happen. So that's going to be, I think, the change. I think Apple is the least affected by that in particular because they tend to go for smaller acquisitions as a strategy. But the big names, you might just see delays the next time they try to make a big acquisition. Doesn't mean it doesn't go through. It just means the lawyers make a heck of a lot more money, which is happy for them. And then deals might take an extra quarter to close or might have a little more volatility when they come around. Like someone asked me about that stamp. Will I trade it today? Yeah, I'll probably be getting in front of that 330 price because I can't see a deal at a higher price than that. Or sorry, I can't see any reason why it'll trade above that. But most of the time, these are not exciting to trade. What I'm interested in is what Amazon did yesterday when the market was down, and that's showing all kinds of strength as usual for Amazon. I mean, that 3,600 level looks pretty good on any kind of a dip. Let's see what happens to the market today. I mean, it doesn't look like we're a down day, but on the off chance it is, that's probably a level worth looking at.
Yeah, I also wonder if we just start to take a little bit off on some of these names. I don't want to, and I don't think I will. But again, it's just I feel like he may have some bad feelings if Microsoft comes back down to this 260 area. Look, I'm not scared about any of these headlines. I'm not nervous about anything, really. It's just you do have that summertime swoon that can sometimes come into the marketplace. We are coming back to earnings season. Every single time we're in earnings, we do have moves that pull back. I can find it. I'll do a little bit more research on the weekend and show you the last couple earnings areas there for Apple, Microsoft, Facebook. Other than, I think it was only Facebook. No, it was only Google, I believe, last time that took off. So off earnings. So we're going to wait to see where it goes. But I think big tech, I don't think it's in trouble with this headline. I like the headline. Google's just recently bought Fitbit, so we'll see how that can sort of settle down here. But back to 2,500. Google's still the king on the hill. Amazon, but what a great move that was, breaking through clusters as well. But as long as we keep riding this 50-period moving average, I don't really think we have too much to worry about. This is my largest single holding. 2380 is that 50-period moving average. So if we break down below there, then I think we got to get a little bit nervous, especially if you go back to this area. 2,080. So, but that's still, we're at 2,500. So if we lose 500 off this, that's a decent move down, and we have more to be worried about, in my opinion, if that happens. So let's just keep on holding all of our tech shares. I don't think we buy any more at these levels, to be honest with you, but I think it's definitely not a sell, it's a hold. And I just want to get through summer and then start buying again late August, early September.
All right, let's bring in Arun here and get a check on the overall market, get an understanding anyways of what levels we need to be aware of. As we said, for the futures this morning, Arun, we're back to the upside.
Back to the upside. Opens up some trading. Yesterday's move kind of opened the market up a little bit. I gave you guys the levels yesterday. It was 43.55 on the top end and a few midpoint levels. 43.30 was that midpoint level, and we're above that now. So what I'm thinking is that we have enough support in the mid-20s, high teens, for us to start taking some longs here. I've already started building some somewhat of a position here in the low of 30s here. So I'm willing to go all the way down from we are talking about the S&P 500 E-mini futures, by the way. I'm willing to go all the way down to 43.10, just underneath 43.10 as my stop. I do want to see how much trading gets done there. So the area that I would put a stop is 43.10, but it's not going to be a hard stop. And I'm also going to give it the space to kind of trade around a little bit before I decide to get out. So I do want to see how much trading is in that area before I give up on my long. But for now, I am starting to build in the low 30s. Like I said, I'm also willing to start get some more in the mid 20s. And if it really comes down to it, I'll do high teens as well. But for now, I am long, and we are looking, the first target has to be towards 50. I think we have to get to 50 for this long to make any sense, worth the risk. And of course, there's a lot of action up there. So I also want to slow play this when we get up to 50. How much action are we going to get around that 50 round number? Given what we saw in the last couple of days, there was a lot of activity above there. I just want to see if that can hold as well, because if they can hold as well, we might get possibly a triple top, double top, whatever you want to call it. I'm seeing potential for a triple top, but if we fall off the 50s again. So for now, what I'm doing is I'm going long, see if we can get to 50. If we can get to 50, see how much action we get around 50. There should be a decent chunk there. If there's enough selling, then I may just start to get out my profits there. If we break above 50, then I think you then step into another trade, two separate trades, a long now and maybe a long after we break 55. That opens up a brand new set of levels as well. So, and it would be all-time highs as well going into a Friday, which could bring some volatility at the end of the day. So a lot of conditions attached to where we are towards the end of the day. Towards the highs, you might get a push on the programs right at the end of the day for even higher moves. If we are nowhere near the highs, well, it might be a quiet close at the end of the day. But for now, bias is upside, trades are to the upside, and we'll just see how much support we're getting. Or I'm expecting some support in the mid-20s. We'll see how much is there if we ever get down to that point.
Great stuff. Thanks, Arun. We'll check back in again on Monday. Yeah, pretty positive start here for the overall market. Let's talk Boeing here, guys. We mentioned late in the day yesterday, it was a Bloomberg report that Boeing had begun working with Chinese regulators, as well as they came out after market saying a number of different global flight agencies when it comes to getting the 737 MAX recertified and safely back in the skies. So that caused this move to the upside. We're back to the upside here again today, guys, 0.8% for Boeing.
Yeah, I mean, there was a good talk there with Sean and Mark about Boeing. And Look, it's been a sort of a disappointing stock in a lot of ways. In some ways, I mean, obviously you're going to have that move off of 225, and that's going to stand out. I actually wrote down resistance levels today as my first look for Boeing at 242 and 245, and I say that wishing all the best and wanting all the best for Boeing, but I just sort of went back. I was looking at the 15-minute here and just sort of looked at what happened off of that 250 level, and then was looking at this like little range here, like 242, right into this, like it's actually more like 246, but 245 is where it really dropped off after failing at 250. So I looked at that $3 range and said, that just feels like a bit of a fade trade to me on a Friday here if we pop into that 245. Now, it doesn't mean that there can't be a breakout. I kind of want it to go, but you had a strong move in the last couple of days. You get the positive headline in there. And it just hasn't had the juice to have one like those really big sustained runs in it, and that's why my first look was thinking about that fade trade today. It's not necessarily one that I'm guaranteed to put on because it would really have to travel to the upside to get there anyways. But my look is at that resistance area, not necessarily the level, but that $3 range. I'd be looking for a turnaround there, running into some resistance.
Yeah, I was actually looking at Ford there, but we'll do that after we talk about GM. Yeah, I mean, you like Neil mentioned there, me and Mark just had that little talk, so if you did want to rewind, you could have a quick look at that. But Boeing right now, it looks like it's going to try to break that 50-period moving average. I just think that it's all about China. I've tweeted that out earlier, months ago, that I thought China was going to probably throw some sort of an olive branch to the U.S., but it seems the complete opposite of that has happened. I thought, the changeover to the Democratic side of things would help that relationship, but obviously every single Chinese name has been getting taken to the woodshed for political reasons, which is crazy. We saw what happened with Didi there. I'm just into something right now. I'm into Zila. I'm into Ford on that break, so that's what it was. I'm also looking for Zila to break through 320, but we just take Ford right now. We'll talk about that in a minute, but I do like these breaks, and I think this is a good little opportunity for Boeing. We'll probably be a buyer in this range here yesterday off that big move there in the Chinese news. We'll look at the bottom. We were going to go short 235 because that was sort of an unsubstantiated report, but it looks like it's fine. So I think you got to get long into the 236 area, and then just an update here. We go small. It's only 906, which is fine. It's getting closer to the open, but there's Ford. We take Ford on a break. Why? Because we did get that better GM news today on some upgrades with GM there. So now we'll wait to see. That's up 4%. Ford's only up 2 and a bit. But I just think that both these companies are sort of doing the same thing. So look at GM here is taking off. So is Ford. Like this is GM, up 5% today. So we're going to watch GM and Ford. I'm already into Ford, and I do want to backfill this as well. If we can get filled back 1420-ish, that could be a nice little level there as we're trying to go upside. And again, if you look at the sticky note, I've already posted it. It's right there in the bottom, Ford 1440. So we are taking that long, and we're in that name right now. So Ford off the sticky note. We're going to go here. One position so far, and I like it.
Yeah, GM, nice look this morning as well. Wedbush initiating with outperform on GM today. Let's talk about the meme stocks, guys. AMC put in a pretty impressive rally after the initial weakness yesterday, as we were talking about some significant levels over here on the daily chart. So we're holding back above 48, which was resistance a couple times and support late in the day yesterday, but 50, obviously the bigger point.
Yeah, I mean, look, 50 was the top in yesterday's action. There was a rollover, of course, in the pre-market, and you saw that bottom that got made at 39, left way too much on the table, shorting that. Reversal to long, didn't hold on to it like a chump, I want to say, because I missed out on the 44 break, was basically playing in this range for the long trade. And then it's all about 50 today, and we just reversed off it. I mean, look, we're down, well, not even $1 off of that pre-market high. 50 is the level that's going to stand out. I'm open to playing it in both directions. I mean, if you were down at 47, I'd be thinking that like fade in front of 49, like scalp trade, and then start thinking about that breakout at 50 even. Not the only meme name we're going to be watching here today. There's a couple, that Carver, which, I mean, it's hard to get away from this. It had just a spectacular flush in the afternoon yesterday off of 39, all the way back into $20. Big level there at 20. You can kind of see that in the morning there, 20 breakout in the morning. That was a big miss for me. My stop didn't cross far enough. My stop not getting me in on that 20 break, tricky one. But now we're back up at $28. It was like, when I sat down, it was like almost 80 cents a share to get the locates. That got cut in half the price. I think there's a decent chance if this one moves to the upside, it's a double top at 39. I think I'm looking something like 35 or 36 shy of that, where there might be a bit of a turnaround just on this, post parabolic or uber parabolic type of day. I'm not going to short a breakdown of that trade. I just want to see it pop to the upside likely first. And you look at that, what happened yesterday, and you see that 28.50 at the top. I wasn't able to get in last time I had a top end break like that, but for a scalp trade off the open, I don't want to have a stop that triggers at like 9.10, but I want to throw that off the open if I can catch an opening breakout trade on Carver. I don't think it'll be as good as it was yesterday, obviously, but there's still an opportunity there as well.
All right, yeah, I mean, I already have my locked and loaded here for Carver at that 28.50, so we're going to go long if that does break through there. And the stock we were talking about there was AMC. So it's the #1 stock on the sticky note there. You guys can watch that. We traded it like crazy yesterday. So this is what we're talking about with AMC here off Twitter. $50 looks to break, so we'll see that from yesterday. We'll watch out for 48.50 for support. And we are coming really close now. That's just on Twitter. You guys can find that for sure. But here it is. I'll put it on the chat in case you guys are looking for it. AMC right here, 50. That was yesterday. That was about as clear as day. We didn't break that 50. So if we do today, then obviously it's going to be a long for me through there. And then I'm also looking at these pre-market breaks of 48.50. Those have been good, right? We talked about that a little bit back and forth with AMC the last couple of days. And we also are going to be putting out a video this weekend about some different trading strategies. I love these little pre-market breaks on stocks that can move. So we'll watch for that AMC thing there. Check out our website all weekend. We will be having, or our YouTube channel, we will be having new videos being released. And just quickly, I forget what I wanted to say, but it was AMC, this, that. It'll come to me after, but I wanted to show one more thing. What was it? Oh, Zila about to break?
Another one, yeah.
Yeah, Zila was, that's right. I want to talk about Zila there through 320. Again, this is just one of those levels here where you had a little bit of action there in the afternoon where we stopped a little bit at 320. If we go backwards on Zila here, you do have another 320 break that happened right here. Stop back down to 310. Then the break happened up to 380. So 360, 370. If you do see me get into that Zila, this is a good out, man. We do talk about getting a little too greedy sometimes. And if Zila wants to go, then, I mean, look, guys, you take a 320 break and you get a 360. I mean, that's 40 cents on $3. There's your 12, 13% rate there. So might be worth taking some of that. But we will take a Zila break, and I will take some out at 350 if it does go up that high. But I do like that one for some momentum. And then Ford right now still ticking higher with a nice, you know what? It was Zila, Neil, but it was also this. We haven't showed the imbalances yet. That's more what it was. So there's DD on the imbalance locator. This is very, very small for a Friday, guys. There's not much happening there. DD with a buy. That's also, again, on my list. 1150, I wanted the long. That just happened as I was talking with Mark, so I missed that. Or sorry, I wanted the break to the downside. That didn't happen yet on DD. I said long there because this is a buy. I still think we short everything DD related until we get better news out for that name. So there's the imbalance locator. I like CCL long today.
All right, let's talk about NIO. First off, we'll get to DD here in a second, but NIO coming off their inaugural Power Day, where they announced plans for 4,000 swapping stations globally. So not only just in China, but globally, they said, by 2025, and that includes 700 by the end of 2021. So positivity here. There was HSBC out there with a late upgrade as well. So that caused that extra little pop to the upside back above 47 for NIO.
Just so you guys know, I'm like literally licking my lips right now because like our Trader TV chat that we used to communicate, all the talk is about hot dogs and sausages from Costco because everyone's and it's making me very, very hungry. So my stomach is going to be grumbling. I think we're hungry for some NIO action today. It made such a big dip going into this that you're already getting that pushback. You were already getting that pushback. And I'm going to show you the 15-minute chart. You get the wipeout, and then you get the gap down, flush out bottom. I mean, you're screaming for this thing to hold, for this name to hold yesterday's close price, 45.60 in this area here. That's where I'm setting the dip by. If you look at that flush that happened on the 7th, back in on Wednesday, guys, there's kind of this like top area about 47.50 where it tried to recover on the big move down and then failed. So that's what I'm pegging. Pre-market high is at 47.36, but I'm looking at that I guess that round number, 47.50. The dip buy for me is at previous close, so it's like not 45 even, let's just say, but starting to look at it at 45.60. I want to be going into the long end of this trade on NIO after you get that wipeout bottom, and then look for the pushback, because that's where you have some room to run to the upside here. So a couple of ways we can play this NIO. Looks like we're closer to the top, but I'm always sort of preparing myself for 930 if I'm looking for a short, to short into a pop, or to buy on the dip, as I feel like that's the trade that you got to be more geared for. Like the breakout trade, get your stop order, boom, it hits it, you're in. For the dip buy, you got to be a bit more nuanced. Like you saw me miss Coinbase yesterday. I absolutely loved the price down at 232. I had my 233 and change bid and missed it by 20 cents because I wasn't ready on level 2 to just cross in and cross the spread and catch it on the offer. I'd like to be able to do that with NEO if it tries to reverse around that 45 half.
Yeah, I just wanted to give everybody a quick heads up here. I will talk about SoFi in a minute. I know there's a lot of members asking about SoFi, so we'll do that. 1440, we just took out a piece there at 1450, so we'll already go 1 for 1 here with Ford. And again, why are we taking it out so early? It's just this went straight up, man. 1440, straight to 1450, just basically, obviously in a straight line there. So we'll take that out, and then we don't have to worry about anything that sort of shenanigans that happened here off the open. So we'll just take out half. I still want to get longer back in here, but now I guess I got to change my bids back to around here, 1430, 1435. We've seen Ford have great news off the pre-market and then fade right back down. Yeah, nobody is stuck. Okay, Shakib, I see you, don't worry. Nobody's stuck in a SoFi trade. I mean, like this, come on, SoFi, what's going on here? NQ? Okay, there it goes. Come on, chart. You can't be stuck in this trade, guys. I mean, this trade, like, if you put it on up here, then yeah, you're a little bit stuck, but we only really started getting interested off some of these dumps here when we saw share lockups and things like that come through. So there was, there we go. Now we're into Carve right now, breaking that 28.50. So we are into Carve long, but let's go back to SoFi quickly. So look, I mean, great bottoms there, 15, 16. Every single time the NASDAQ gets dumped off, you're going to see moves happen with Carver. You're going to see, and SoFi, sorry. Any of these newly released IPOs are going to have a problem. So I'm not super nervous about SoFi. I think that you could just start dip buying all of these names. I like them. I mean, I think they do have a presence, so we are going to watch that. But look what's happening right now. I don't know if you're in this, Neil, but here goes Carver, man. A nice little long. We're long 28.50. Where do we go from here? Maybe 30. We'll take out $1.50 to start the day real early on Carve and then see where we go. We got another one here for you guys. So we'll say, Mamma Mia, we already threw the pizza around. This time it's a hot dog kind of time as Carve looking to get higher, higher, higher. We'll take a piece out if we can at 50, and then we'll wait to see where it goes from here. But a nice trade so far for Carve. I hope you guys have this one as well. There it is. Peace out right there. 29.50. We take that out. Sorry, 29.51. So that's a smooth dollar right there on Carve. We're going to go 2 for 2 to start the day. Carve and Ford. Big time, guys.
I see you guys talking about that RSLS, and yeah, I'm short that one. Absolutely. It's gap up trade up to 625, consolidates lower off of 6 even, tight stop short, like pretty much I always, like it's kind of hilarious because you could probably predict exactly what I'm going to be sitting in once you find that setup. It rolls down towards that 7 a.m. breakout price. Do I scalp out in front of it? Of course I do. Some out in front of 81, some out in front of 72, sitting on just shy of less than half the shares. No average in, same strategy as always, no average in into 930. If it pops into 930, I want a tight stop at 6. If it fails and rolls over at the high of the day, I'm looking for that fail rollover trade. Does it have a setup for a breakout? I think someone was saying, oh yeah, it's going to $10 today. Okay, I see where you come up with that 10. I'm thinking that there's going to be day traders in that 8 to 850 range that would line up to short this name. It's an extremely low float. Relatively low float, and it does have a short interest as well, so you do have to be careful with this. That's why the tight stop around that 6, which I mentioned in the chat, but I'll say to you guys right now as well. And then I would also definitely be covering more shares in front of that 550 level, the pre-market low. I usually would try to hold about 10% for the home run trade. You're always more aggressive getting out, the more dangerous the lower float the stock is. If it's more liquid, then you think about holding a little bit more of that. I can tell you my stop, I know what it is, Sean. I use the Edge A stopped. We have 2 different kind of stop orders, one of which you shouldn't use in the pre-market. I should know that. So I'm not in Carve. I'll sit on the bid in front of that 28.5. I think that thing has a chance to do one of those halts off the open. So watch out for Carver. It definitely halted seconds after breaking out at 9:30. It could do a similar thing here today because of liquidity.
DD Global being added to two, not one, but two separate MSCI indexes. That came out after market yesterday as of July 14th. So first day here in 5, I guess today is the 5th day. 4 straight to the downside, though. We're trying to bounce here, guys, up about 4% for DD Global today.
So this was something that it was expected, like the announcement that it was going to be in a couple of MSCI indexes. So I don't think that it's a gigantic deal. You can see I have an order in front of 12 even here. I just look at, not yesterday, but going back into this double top that we had where DD tried to make a bit of a recovery at 12.20, and I want to be shorting the pop. If I can. If it gets through 12.25, I think there's maybe a chance that it breaks to 13. So I want to short into any strength that it has there, fading into that trade. So I actually have an order sort of sitting in front of that 12 even. If it pops any further than that, I think about averaging in, but I don't want to have too much before that open. That's more of like a 9:30 style of play there, guys. So DD, for me, I guess Sean will probably be doing the same thing. Although I'm not looking at the breakdown trade. That actually does look pretty good at 11.50. It kind of feels like maybe it's going to try to make a pop. It's been so weak, and it did have some strength off the double bottom at 11 yesterday. Maybe that gets some people buying it into the open. That's what I'm looking for.
Okay, guys. Yeah, so I'm not in that RSLS. Neil just covered that. So if you guys are talking about that, that's what's going on over there. I'm still in this carve, and we will look at DD in a minute. I just want to give you guys an update that, this area may be, like if this goes to 32, I mean, right now we're $1.10 in the money, so we'll spin this for us. Not a bad day as we're going to go 2 for 2 to start off with right now, and it's unbelievable the kind of run that we've been on. But right now, 32 to the high side. We'll see about that for Carve. And then again, this could easily just fall back in, guys. I mean, look at Carve, do the rest of the day. So we are out of 2/3 of that position. If I can make $1 in like less than a minute. I mean, it was like probably 20 seconds or so, this trade. So we'll take that $1 right now, and I'm not gonna really worry about it. It is the pre-market, so we will take that position on Carve and then just hope for a halt fest upside and then just continue to crush this name as here it goes again. So we'll do another backflip, $1.50 now in the money on Carve as it's gonna break through $30. DD Global coming right at you, and thank you so much, President Xi there, for basically squashing everything that DD had to offer early on. I still think that the investors can get the last laugh here. I do like DD for a long at some point for sure. I just, right now there's been a lot. I don't have to tell you about this, guys, if you're watching our show. We've talked about some of the Chinese rhetoric and some of the names that have got hit there. I'm just waiting for it's the same play I made on Carve. I mean, look at Carve, bang, through $30 right now, guys. Congratulations, anybody long that one. But 11.50 right there, a nice little drop spot. I looking to go short on DD. We did have to pay for shorts, so if you're just trading right now for the first time, you may have to pay for shorts as well and find out if your broker does hold any of these. So there it comes to the downside. I like it for a downside break. I won't look upside on anything on DD until we get, I don't know. I'd like to see us break this high right there of 12.20-ish. So we may get that today. We're up 4%, but wow, I'm just like right now loving what we're seeing in Carve. Wait out for this 32 level, and then we'll see what happens. Remember, yesterday it was halt fest all the way up to 38. So it's starting to go now again with a big win on board for me here with Carver. I hope you guys have it as well.
You want to talk DD there, Sean, as far as a plan is concerned?
Yeah, I did. I just did.
Okay, cool.
I was just talking about it. I'll give you one more time just in case it wasn't super clear there. I just want to go off this 11.50 break. So we did talk about that. We looked at it from a daily chart here. 11.50 there is my plan, and then I'm not going to get long until 12.20 or so, Brendo.
All right, cool. Let's move on. Square, guys. Jack Dorsey, a month ago or so on Twitter was kind of hinting at the fact that they were going to build a crypto wallet, hardware-based crypto wallet. So the company confirming that they will in fact do this. I mean, this is kind of a ho-hum at this point. 1%, yeah, for Square, but should this be more, guys?
Look, it was kind of expected, so I don't know that it has to be more. I'm looking at, I like Coinbase for a trade, and I do have a couple levels on this, but I mean, Square 240. You're going to look at that creeping back into yesterday's top. This was a failed break at this particular price. And just showing a 15-minute chart here. This is like a 239 bottom that you had there, and then failed to get through that price, a wipeout, and then it came right back, tested that 239 price, and failed again. So you're looking at a 240 type of breakout. I still like Coinbase if it makes another bit of a dip buy, but in terms of a breakout trade, Square actually sets up pretty decently. Although it might only be like a $3 or $4 type of trade into that 245 area. So you might want to trade a little bit lightly on that one. But I like Square. I also do like, just because it's a similar space there. Coinbase, we talked about this one. It's still not above that 250 level. We might actually test that today. Remember last time we ended up breaking 250 and then gap back down. We like that dip by into 233. I'm kind of eyeballing this 242 area off of the open. So if that dips down into like the 242, 243 area on Coinbase, I'd like to pick up that long trade off the open. And hopefully we get that close. I want that close and then open the next day holding that 250 level. Like that'll be a great sign for me. Otherwise, I think waiting for like the teens in case you get that drop through that 30,000, which is seeming pretty likely, that does happen. You want to be in front of that 200 level on Coinbase.
Guys, already a $3 winner here on Carve. So I'm asking you guys already in this. Okay, so Steve's taking some out here. You guys are in this, yeah, 27, 26. Let's go. Carve is going, yeah, so good. Glad that some of you guys are in this for sure on Carve. And again, it's getting to that point where I don't even know where we take this out or not at some of these levels. So I don't know. This is a big move upside there. We're already taking out a little bit. We don't want to let it fall down too much here. I'd rather have the market just open up here for Carve. Yeah, but Square's another name. It's on my list, man. I want the 238.50 break. Come on. Where Square's a New York name? Come on, let's go. There it is. So, oh, good. Did it break already? I don't know. It's getting close. Look at the bid ask, but it's already on our list. If you want to have some of the love, man, I mean, look what I've done already this morning. Carve and Ford, and then now we have Square on this list. 238. Look what I wrote. Great level. So if you look at 238 here on the daily chart, it is a great level. With this rate here, we're just trying to break above it, guys. It goes back to here, 238. There's some nice little levels. If you look at a 20-minute chart here for Square as well, we really like that 238 level. It's right here. Some dip buys happened. 238. Yesterday was 238.50. So we're going to look at that, but it's 238.50, not 238. The only problem is we're going to miss it off the open because it's already happening right now, and the spread is way too big. If anything, like if you want to take 100 shares on this trade, look at Carve. If you want to take 100 shares on this trade, then maybe you take an early break of like 20. So like 20% of your position, I think you could get in early. And then if we're lucky enough to get a little bit of a dip buy in Square, we'll do that. But guys, Carve just continues, man, to go. Now we broke through 32. How does $4 sound for you guys early and often? Yesterday it was a tofu. Today it's chicken dinner winners all over the place, Brendan. Big time trading here at the open. Congratulations on Carve, guys. Let's go.
Going to be an exciting day. Let's get into GALT here as well. GALT, another one that popped up a little bit later on this morning on some positive news. So we got all the way up there to about 480, 490 on this. Again, GALT, 43%. A couple things to be aware of. If you go to the daily chart, 450, very clear level here on the daily chart for resistance. Above that, there's 5 to 525 I'll watch as well. But volume suspect on this already. It's kind of dying down as we head towards the open. Kind of like to see them increasing in volume as we get towards the open. So heads up on GALT.
There was an IPO yesterday, this AGRI, so you guys talking about it. It's a gapper that was up much more than 60%. It was actually over 100% to the upside. Really, there's no point looking at any other chart than the intraday chart here, guys. It would have been a play for me if we were, well, it might still happen. This 850 level that it just reversed off a couple of times here in the pre-market, that's what I was sort of eyeballing before we just rolled back over, and now we're falling like an absolute rock. It was a bit pricey for the shorts. It was over 20 cents per share, so I was really looking to short on some strength, so you have like 50 cents to $1 type upside wins to that low of the day. Down here off the low, it kind of changes that litmus. I want to pick my spots. If it pops off the open, 850, that'd be where I want to short in front of. If it breaks that, you're hunting right back into that $10 range. A bit of a wide range there, but I think it's going to be a worthwhile. With only 2.5 minutes to go, remember we have NEO coming off of, I guess it's no longer battery day, as you said there, Brendan, power day. But it actually already broke out. Well, I mean, kind of tried to break out here through 47, through that pre-market high. I'm eyeballing a dip buy, as we mentioned, that previous close price. If it gets anywhere near that 45.60, that's where I want to be picking some NEO up. At first stop, it has to try to take out this 46.60 area. And then Virgin Galactic, I know we mentioned that the space flight, that the flight is this weekend. I don't know that we went over any hard plans. When it comes to Virgin Galactic, You have this top here in the afternoon, and then the aftermarket at 53. And then when we had that big gap up and then monster flush day, this was a big level here when it tried to retest at the open. I know we're higher 56. At the open, tried to retest 54.50, 53 to 54.50. I think that's a bit of a rollover zone for Virgin Galactic. 60 at the top, I kind of feel like there's always going to be sellers at that particular price. I'm only in that RSLS right now, basically flat. I've already scalped out, and I'm not going to average in or get anything else in to the short side until 9:30, if at all. Still have a 6 even stop on that.
One of my favorite skits of all time, and one of my favorite characters, and one of my favorite Saturday Night Live actors of all time as well, obviously passed away. But if anybody knows the name of this character, you win a shout out don't Google it, come on guys. But it's go time right now for Carve. As we said, $2 in the money, we just tweeted 5 minutes ago, and we say nepa to that one, as we are now $4 in the money as we turn around from $34 right there. So I'm thinking that's probably going to be a decent out to get out of the last little piece here. But there it is, man. Those of you that think you can't make, I mean, this is 18%, something like that, upside right now for Carve on this one fill. Pre-market break. Let's go to the upside. Let's see where we go from here. I kind of want to put an order to get out if we do crack below this 31. So we might do that 30.80 or so. I'm going to put an order just in case so we can capture some profit. It's been a fun ride for sure, but we have bigger fish to fry for sure. Let's see if Carve can go. 30.80 is where I'm going to put my stop, guys.
And only 20 seconds to go. Mark Roberts was in the teal, but the market is, the NASDAQ is 0.1 to the downside. Ms. V is going to be on the bell. She let Mark go with the green. We'll see if it's going to be good luck on this Friday to round out the week. Lots of action to talk about here. Of course, we'll watch that NEO AMC as well. Still below that $50 mark. 3, 2, and 1 ring at Ms. V.
Okay, so we instantly get into some AMC right here, guys. We'll see if we can take off a little bit. We are short now, AMC 48.40. I don't love this trade. That was that breakdown possibility there. We'll see if it takes out 50. We do like a 50 long, of course, on AMC. So we'll just sit in this for a bit and see what happens. Carve, $7 in the money now on Carve. It is raining down up to 36.
Tell me you got it. Did you take out 36?
I wasn't even looking at it.
I'm kicking myself over because obviously my stop didn't hit, but Carve, I was talking about that 35, 36 for a potential initial reversal there. That's where it turned on a dime, right at 36, guys. Watch for the pullback into 30. If it halts to the downside and can hold 26, it might be worth a re-entry point, but at 36 looked like first resistance on Carver. Double top at that 38, 39 area as well.
Yeah, 33.50 maybe. Here, let's see if we can go now through this. It's having a problem now at 33.50, so here goes 34. We are waiting for an offer here at 35.50. Let's see where Carve goes from here. This is a monster winner, guys. $6, $7 in the money right now. We'll still go up. There I am. Bang, and we are out of Carve. There it is. Hit the sirens. The trade of the day has been made already. 28 break, up. Here we go. Let's see what happens. That 39er right there. Oh, trade of the day. Oops, maybe we have another one right now. Did we do it again? There goes AMC. Bye-bye. 48.50 to the downside. Now 47.50. We cover for 50 cents, and now we'll see how far we go to the downside on that one. And then we also have Zila right now is in the building. So we'll see how far this one can go now to the upside. Man, this is a fun time, Neil. Tell me you've got some bangers.
Well, I got that RSLS. And look, guys, I know people bet long on these. I get it. You want that gap and you want that runner. 570 said we take out there. We said we take out in front of that pre-market low. So it is what it is. That's the plan of action. You know where my stop was. You know where I wanted to get it out. The TBLT, I just got into that one. I apologize. I don't think we went over TBLT. That's why I just covered RSLS. Talked about that pre-market low. It just bounced there off a T. Well, maybe not off a T, but close enough to it. TBLT was another runner looking for that 930 fade play. I wasn't able to get any more shares just now when it got to 115. It's got a 120 top. Volume pretty good. This is a penny stock to be sure. You know what? NIO, which I kind of thought was about to... I actually thought it was about to plunge into that 45.60 range. It bounced hard off that first level at 46.50. So far, NEO here holding up a little bit better than I thought. I thought it was going to roll deeper and then be that crazy dip buy, but it hasn't happened here on NEO.
Yeah, we're waiting for NEO as well. AMC comes right back, so good thing we took some out there. We took out 2/3 for that first 50 cents because we were worried about something else called Carve there. So now we're into Square. Square is fading off here, so that news obviously not as big as we had thought it would be. We still will massage this trade a little bit, even back down to this 235 area if we have to. So this is going to be one that we're going to have to hold on as it's not really working out too good. There, we're right out on Carve. Carve does go to yesterday's high, 38.39 there. So good out for us there on Carve for sure. It looks like anyways, back downside, but congratulations anybody on that Carve. And we're going to hold Zila back to 290. What up, Bren?
Initial volume alert here, guys, on Levi Strauss. We mentioned late in the day yesterday. Earnings aftermarket yesterday for Levi was bought initially, but back to the downside here. Just broke 29 there, still up 3%.
Wow, Levi's good mover there. Obviously, fantastic numbers. Watch out for DD. I'm sitting there, of course, in front of that 90 level, getting way too greedy. It does roll over after a pop, but it does so in the 80s. So look, I want to be on the south side of the trade. I wanted to short a pop there. Obviously, it didn't go quite as far as I thought. If we get back into that 80s range, you'll see me jump into some shares to the south side of that. AMC does not get anywhere near that 50 again. It looks like. So I wanted to play in both directions on AMC, but the rollover happens at 49 here, as you can see. Just go back into yesterday's action, go on the 15-minute chart here, and watch that dip into 45. So if it goes absolute bonkers to the downside, watch for 45 dip here on AMC. NEO still trying to fall into that 45, 60 level, which I like.
Yeah, I was just going to tweet this out because AMC right now $1.20 in the money on AMC. We are now 50 cents in the money on Square. What a day, man. What a month, what a year, what everything, guys. We're already huge as bye-bye Square. Let's go, man. We need some Matt Foley action as we get going again. Another dollar winner. We have a $7 winner today. We have back-to-back jacks on AMC and on Square. Now we have Brendan giving us that good. What up, bud?
Just checking Altria, guys. MO big mover here. St. Michel Wine Estates being sold by Altria to Sycamore for $1.2 billion for a wine company. Wow. MO up 2.5%.
Wow.
By the way, that ARGI has halted to the upside. It doesn't take much. It's like a 10% move off the open, but off that bottom at 7 even. You got a 762, and right at the open it halted. So like literally in 30 seconds or so, it should be opening back up if it's a 5-minute halt. Still watching for that 850 level, and then from there that 10. If it presses in and looks like it's going to halt into a price like that, I would never short going into a halt. TBLT, I got 11s to the south side. It's sitting there at 8, 9. It did try to pop into those teens. That short is for now working and just not getting any. I mean, we're still falling down in NEO. I'm trying to be very, very patient with the dip buy there. We're getting pretty close to 46 though.
Yeah, and then another one off the level right now, guys. AMC off the sticky note. I mean, look what we have here on the sticky note. Just to show you guys, it's up on Twitter. 48.50 slip down, right? There's Square, 238.50. Look at CCL, 24.50. Let's just take a quick look at CCL quickly, guys, here. Look at 24.50. How about this level? 24.45. Ding, 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 ding. All the way to the downside, so that's going to be a big trade. Bye-bye, AMC. Let's go. A big win here for AMC, guys. We talked about that 48.50 break. There it is. How does $1.50 sound for you on that one? So $1.50 now for AMC, a $7 for Carve, where he took that 28.50 out 35.50. That math is right there as we continue to go. We did take some out on Square. Real talk. Real fill. That's the high of the day. 29.30 we have. The actual high is 29.39. 29. That's not the right high. 29.39.42. Yeah, I guess it is. We have 32. So sorry, that's 42s. We don't have to tick. We have 10 cents away from that high of the day as AMC just continues to crash down. Welcome to the jungle. It is warm today.
Yes, absolutely. And that ARGI reopens. It's the opposite of the rollover trade, where if it had opened down at 750, you're shorting off that level. Instead, you get a consolidation to the upside, and you're long off of the whole price at 760. Well, I'm long anyways at 790. I still like that 850 area, so you know I'm going to take some profit out there. It's a very active name, and apologies, our charts don't show, for some reason, are not showing yesterday's price action, or I would show you yesterday's trade, but it closed at 460. So this is up already 80% on the session. Just took some out there, so we'll power it up at 840. I want to hold through this 850 price. Decent chance that if it presses 850, you could be looking at a halt again. I think it's worth holding through that potential halt.
Man, okay. Square falling down a bit. We may, I mean, I'm looking at AMC. I just tweeted out that we're going to look at this 48 45 level on AMC. But if we go back to yesterday, this is where we had some issues. So we might probably get out of this one at 46.64 right here on that little break. We'll see if it can break, but if it doesn't, we'll get out at 47. Now back to the upside. So we have to average in. Square doesn't look, Square, not AMC. Square doesn't look like it wants to go up there. So good thing we did take some of, but now we've averaged back into that name. What up, V? Now that we've averaged back into that name, thank you for the coffee. That's going to be a good one now to think about getting out. Our out spots, move this upside here. Our spots to get out, we just put in a stop order, are going to be down here, man, 235. So watch out for that breaking spot right there, 234.80 or so. I got to make sure I do have the right one to go in there. But here goes Square. We're dug into this one as AMC just keeps on getting juicier and juicier to the downside.
Yeah, and going to take first dig at Neo pretty close here, but watch out Virgin Galactic, of course. That actually got all the way, it did not quite get to that 53 target area, but all the way back into 52.50 and then reverses twice. I mean, this actually did happen twice. Once here at the open and then back up and then right back into this 50 level. Looking like there's some selling action going on in Virgin Galactic going into that, what I hope is a successful flight. We'll see what happens. If it pops back to 52, maybe I'll have to short in front of that high of the day instead of waiting for that 53 target area, guys. Are you kidding me? I didn't get Neo there. Neo just bounced 40 pennies off that 46. I'm like sitting there waiting to dig in. I finally say I'm going to look to take it and then missed it by 10 cents as usual. Brendo?
A little bit of NFT action or NFT related action here. Hall of Fame Resorts popping up here, guys. Partnership with Esports Entertainment Group announced today. So HOFV on the move, 15%. Just took out that pre-market high.
By the way, I mean, look what we just did on Ford. I was so busy looking at AMC and Carve and you know, everything that we're doing, I for Square especially, I completely miss this on Ford. Look at this. I mean, this is just what happens. Bang, bang. We told you about Ford dipping down and we would take some of these buys. So what about a 32 and a 34 bid there? We talked about taking it back in this pre-market area. That's why we took it out at 50 in the first place. So we reloaded on that one. And here's one of my favorite things as well. Follow on Twitter for all of these plays, guys. We're reloaded on this one. But my biggest position, bar none, well, I mean, just from capital-wise, because it's $230 stock, is Square. So that we took a nice little bottom there, 236.65. Let's see where we go from here. But right now on that NASDAQ bump, man, if NASDAQ continues to go down, Square's going to get crushed, man. Square got crushed yesterday early. Where's the chart for yesterday? Here it is. But like, I mean, a 238 all the way to 230, that's an $8 move early, and then it made back half. So yeah, this can get crushed if NASDAQ keeps going negative. It's on a Friday. There are some global fears. We talked about the variant and things like that. So Square is definitely a problem for me right now, but happy with Ford for sure.
And watch, here comes Neo into that 45.60 area. Took that first leg in front of 46. I'll grab some at that 80 range. It's a try. I don't know if I had mentioned the chart when we saw this last time, guys. 45.60 was previous close. Afternoon support at 45.20. So that's going to be your target area for entry. Carve is going, carving up the offer. I don't know. I have no good pun for that.
How much is it now? 50?
No, I'm saying it just halted at that high. This is the double top from yesterday. So it just halted off of this same double top. That's a big time key area here, obviously. It did have that base out at 35. I'll zoom back in so you can see here at the 35, 36 area and bounced down. I thought we'd get a shot at that 32 area, the 32 to 30s. Didn't happen. Now you're into that sort of halt phase. If it opens up and can't break through the high, I think it's a safer short because then you can actually go off of that 39 even. Otherwise, if it holds above, the same thing we played in that AGR for a scalp could be the same breakout here through what would probably be a 40 open. I think we got 3.5 minutes, maybe 4 minutes to go until the open trade. Plenty of time to have a plan of action. That's why you want to make sure. If you're going to short this one, be very, very careful. Taking profit's not a bad idea, but if it breaks and holds 40, it's likely to halt again to the upside.
Yeah, wow. And you can see where we got out. I mean, we just cashed it in right there on Carve early. And I mean, not even early. I gave it some run. We could have easily got out at these levels 32, like we said. I thought we had pretty good there. So I'm going to say for me, guys, I mean, this is pretty much diamond hands. If I could take $7 on a $28 name, I'm going to do that. So that's 25% right there. We put that in our pocket and just move on. I mean, the kind of day that we're having is not going to rely on Carve. But there it is, a nice little move to the upside. It's too bad that this was like a pre-market trade because We don't take as many shares there in the pre-market, but this level, it was pretty obvious there, 28. You did have a dip down there level. So just to give you guys an idea of why Neil and I were both looking at that name through this 28.50 level, it was pretty clear as day to me anyways. And I hope that you guys were able to hit it. And if you're short this name, this next reopen is going to be very, very important to depend where that goes from here. And there it is again, another winner right there. So we'll ride on the bull today a little bit as we take out some Zila there. Long at 21, out at 30, the day's high. We take out half of that trade, and that still goes. Look at backing at Ford. We just take the day high on that one, bang, bang. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for 5 right now. Position pending as Square goes right back into the money there, up to 237.25, literally my price, and then turned around. So Square is on a slippery slope for me right now, guys.
Yeah, we're just able to get a bit of a scalp strat on Neo. First dip 46, second dip at 45.80. We like that 45.60 level as well. It never got there. It bounces back above and a small reversal here at 46.20. I always scalp into VWAP or out of into VWAP when I'm playing a buy the dip situation. I just paid for shares on Newegg, locates on Newegg. That one off to the race, reversed off 56. So this is the other one of those, I guess, halt fest trades. Watch out for this. If it breaks this 56 second time, watch out for that 61 level. This had obviously a pretty a day of pullback in yesterday's action. 52.50, this area we're at right here. This is where the good short was yesterday in the closing show. If you're watching the closing show, we're able to make decent money shorting 52.50. That's why I'm going to like it right here for a bit of a bounce play. Probably talking too much, but see if I can get some 53s or something in that range. I don't want to chase it too far here, but I like that 52.50. Now that you're breaking above it, I kind of want to see if it's going to turn to support level. It bounces through. A lot of times on a more volatile stock, you let it break down and then retake that support. That's usually the way I like it because it gives you a bit of an obvious out. So if it breaks 51.50, I can quickly cover that trade, knowing exactly where I want to be wrong. To me, it's more about the setup than anything else. I like the price area. Let's see if Newegg can work. We're not open yet in Carve, but you know I'm watching that one off the reopen trade, so I have to be on this level too. I think we got 1.5 minutes here, so my stop is set on Newegg, and then Carver should open up in just about a minute.
Yes, sir. We're doing it again as Square. This has just been, just an unbelievable day. I hope you guys are still holding on to that Carve. Let's see where we go. But look what we've got right now. We've got Ford big time in the money now, 25 pennies. We've got Square just ticked up to 237.50 there, putting us 70, now 80, now $1. We're going 236.80 is our price, guys. $1 in the money on Square, 7 cents in the money on Zila. AMC, bang to the upside there. Look at this cover, 48.50. Covered some at 48, covered some at 47. Man, this has been a big, big day. Like I see some people saying, how does Sean get so hype? I mean, it is what it is. When you got these winners on board, and I'm just, part of this is also, letting you guys know that you can have some fun, trade at the same time. This is not generally how I trade. We're just putting on a little bit of a show for some excitement here, because some of these trades, you do need to let them settle down. I mean, that's the whole thing about this Square, is just when you're making the cash, sometimes it's kind of fun. What up, Brendan?
Crypto exchange bullish, guys. $9 billion SPAC merger here with Peter Thiel-backed Far Peak, which is FPAC. So that one just popping up in the pre-market there as well while we were speaking. So 1030 seems to be a bit of support here for FPAC so far.
There go. Just talking with swallowed some coffee there. There goes Zila right now to the upside, 335 and change right now on Zila. So the party is just getting started. Like, it's 9:45. I've already made 27 trades, including AMC, which has been a big one. We'll see on that one. Maybe should have shorted that 48.50 again. Carve right there, $45 now, and straight to the upside. Damn it, we should have held on to some of that Carve there, boys and girls. Square right now, 60 cents in the money as well. Oh, sorry, out of the money, but was put in the money. And then here comes Zila right back down to the downside right there. So yeah, everything happening. I want to look at CCM. What am I still in hockey mode here? CCL as well. And then it was because I had CCM and GM there, I got on my mind there. So we'll look at GM now through 58.50 there. I guess you went silent there, Neil, with Carve. I didn't even notice that went back open.
That was super annoying for me on Carver there.
Okay.
I had the 40 long when it actually broke to the upside. I had my offer out there right in front of like 42 when it reversed at 42.50. It ran away from it. Every single time my stop on a trade like that, I always tell you guys, stop is going to be at that previous halt price. So we get out there. Now looks like it wants to try to halt into the, well, no, it resisted a halt to the downside. Now I'm thinking about that other trade, which of course is, does it hold the previous halt price on the short end of the trade? But that's a frustrating long because we had it sort of dead to rights there on the long side, was quickly ready to scalp out and just barely missed it by a matter of pennies. The spread is opening up to like 50 or 60 cents. So as I get into that short trade, remember it's that 39 area. It's a very, very tight stop that you have to have on this. Well, I shouldn't say that you have to have. It's a very, very tight stop that I have on a trade like that to the short side because it's all about that particular halt price. So I'm willing to give it room on the long, but very, very annoying because it gave you that 40 break right into the obvious level, which is 42.50. You just have to be very, very fast to get out of 42. I wasn't fast enough there, so a bit of a burn there for me on Carver because I was sitting deep in the money and then didn't get any out.
No problem there on Carver. Yeah, that's part of the reason why I did take that out. The price action on this thing is nuts. But congratulations anybody that held that, that's for sure. And then congratulations anybody that was forward with me today. Talk about like an opposite thing here. Like this is how I trade, guys. Carver, crazy stock, right? AMC, pretty fun stock to trade. Ford, pretty calm down, but we banged that out. Square, crazy stock to trade. Zila, pretty calm down. So we're in everything and a lot of different styles, and that's, you know, leading me to that point, guys. You know, Neil's going to trade sort of one way. He does like the halts and the shorting, some of these crazier names, but we both do trade like he's a Neo as well. So what we're trying to do is, and again, thank you for the love on Twitter. Some people talking about me shorting that AMC, and they said, man, do your thing. Just trade price action. And that's what I do, right? Trading the price action, whatever we see, we try to put some money to work in and then make that money for you guys and just give you guys some ideas of what we're looking at right now. I'm going to take out another piece of Square as it's having a problem here at 237. But first, I got to go see what Brendan's up to.
No little pharmaceutical company just popping up. ASLN Pharmaceuticals up on a Jeffries upgrade today. So volume alert there. On this one, guys, ASLN.
Oh man,
DD just popped towards the high of the day again, so it just brushed that 1150 level right off the open, bounces right into the top. The first time we didn't have it to the short side. The second time, of course, we're going to. 1220 was another level at that high end that you got to watch out for. And Carver is still holding at that 39 range. Watch out for that TBLT. I took out that short when it broke that high of the day. And then Neo was able to get another dip buy down there. So still average price about 40 to 45.90. That's where it sits. You know, we talked about this on DD. Maybe it actually has and holds one of these days to the upside. Fantastic. I kind of want to play shorts until it shows me that one day where the buying can actually be sustained. Maybe it's today. We'll see. I bet on the other direction here. 81s to start that short position, and then yeah, here comes Carver now holding below that 39. If it halts to the downside, still watch for that 30 level. I think that's where any kind of dip buy would be. It's been breakout so far for Carver, but if it's going to dip, I'm still looking back at that 30.
Okay, guys, this is what we're talking about right now. We just got a little bit out of Ford there on that dip. Was a little nervous that we could retrace back to VWAP, but now we're holding only that 10% left. We got about 10%. So we must look out a little bit more than we thought here on the first little initiation. But 20, 40, 60, 80 normally, but one of those was a little higher. I guess it was this one, probably at 50 there. So we are a little bit out now of Ford, well, pretty much all out of Ford. We'll see if it can break the high again, but that's going to be a good trade for us. Zila's still dancing around. We did get into Neo there, but really, really small. I do want to start to buy it if we can get back into this area here, 45.40 or so, and then try to use some of these levels here, 45.20, even this very bottom of 44.50. I believe you got to hold on to this one, not for dear life, but at least a little bit on Neo. Here's a 20-minute chart on Neo. You know, it's this kind of level, 45-ish. That's going to come into question, 45.25. Neo, man, I thought that this would be a little bit of a better move today. Still up, but not up a lot. Brendo.
Humanogen, guys, just saw that one was up this morning in the pre-market as well. 5.4% still, but big flush here from 19 down to 17. The UK looks like approved one of their drugs for a potential treatment for COVID-19. So big flush anyways for HGen.
Ooh, flush out there. AGRI, remember that? That's going to be that. It halted already. We did play it one time. I want to come back because it was only good for a scalp trade here. And then it halted to the downside. So we scalped it in. We talked about that 850 level. It reversed at 850. We cover some, and then it breaks the halt price. We get out. It's now again right at that low of the day. Well, I mean, it broke it one time, but it's right at the low of the day. AGRI. This was at 460. I showed you the chart, but it's not showing up in our system for yesterday's action, first day of trade. 460 close. So, I mean, watch out for maybe $5 to the downside. At this point, after reversed 850, I would be on the south side of the trade instead of that long, even though our first trade was a long. Miss V is at the big screen. What do you got?
Hey Neil, MindMed is moving to the upside. Stock is up around 4% today. Could you give us a quick look to the charts of MNMD?
The psychedelics are back in play. Well, I mean, I don't know. The psychedelics have been in play if you've been following our channel for a little bit here. My 15-minute is going to be a bit frustrating. But keep in mind, this stock, MindMed in particular, has had all kinds of trouble getting through $4 every single time, but you are seeing it put in a bit of a higher low. There we go, now 15-minute is loading here. Look at this resistance here. It's trying to put in that higher low, we said at 315, but I think all the way up to 350 to 4, it does have some chop, but a 350 break is sort of in the cards here. Just kind of note that the last time we tried to get there was like 5 cents and then no better. Still, 350 looks like a decent break for me. If it pulls back, dip buy actually makes some sense because the higher low that got put in there, 325 long with a 315 stop isn't a bad idea if you're looking for that short term. NEO back down to 45.60. That's yesterday's close, so that's time for the dip buy.
Yeah, that's why I just want to ring the register there on NEO. We cut bait on that one. We picked up a bid right here last time, and then we got out. So now we're holding on to this bid right now. NEO a winner for us now. Good trade there. Look what we did. I mean, we took that first piece, then we took triple the shares down here, and then got them out. So that's why you're going to see NEO as a positive stock for me on the board, even though we are dipping back down. We are long once again here at 45.69 now on NEO. We already cashed out a little bit on that one, so that's another positive stock for us today as we go. Zila. Look, I mean, we took that out for 10 cents. I don't know, I thought thinking it would go a little higher than where we were right now. We still have some areas upside. You know what? I mean, 14, 15%, probably a decent spot for that. I think we'll get out a little bit earlier than we thought here. Maybe, I mean, I was going to hold it to $3, but maybe even here is better. 3.15 or so, just to make sure that we keep some money in our pocket on Zila. But 3.15, we're going to get out of that one if it does crack. NEO's now 10 cents in the money, whatever. We won't worry about that. And 4 now, yeah, okay, here we go, NEO. Now you're starting to go, NEO. All right. A nice little long downside now on NEO. Let's go. Here we go. Here's 20 cents in the money on NIO. So we'll hold this backside, maybe 45, 46, somewhere up here. Sorry, 46.50. I mean, that's a good little spot right there for NIO. I mean, if the market goes, the market goes. But right now, hell yeah, it's square time. This stock needs to get going. If this can go, Med, we will be hella happy with trading so far today, despite giving up, only taking 28% on this carve trade. What's up, Brendo?
I'm just going to check on Pfizer, guys. We were reading in the pre-market. They came out saying that they are already working on a vaccine booster shot that's supposed to be on the way. So heads up on Pfizer, just saw volume. Also this one, SGOC, popped up yesterday. Big mover. This is a Chinese company, electrical component maker, breaking 3 there on huge volume for this one.
I just want to alert Coinbase did break that 250 level. It's still,
it's
usual. It doesn't hold above it. It breaks, comes right back in. It's trying to retest the high here. This is a kind of a key situation for Coinbase. After it broke 250, I'm going to cancel my bid. I was looking for that dip buy. You can kind of see that I have my order still from the pre-market there. If we get a breakout now at like it's 250.70 is going to be the current high. Every time it's done this, like a 250 break recently, it's just slid right back in. If it wants to press through and break the high of the day today, I'm not taking a 250 long. I'll be going for like a 250.70 on Coinbase. So we'll get the stop order locked and loaded and ready to go. I've been waiting around for this thing to show that extra strength. Maybe it's going to be today. I reloaded in NEO, but I'm only taking offers out above that 46 level. Carver just came back in, not hard, but it just came back into 35. This was sort of that dip that we said could eventually happen. If it halts, you're probably looking at like a 30, you'd be talking about like 33, 34 area for a potential halt to the downside. And then if it opens back up, looking to hold like a 30 even area if you're looking for a dip buy long. Of course, I got stopped out of that short because I always have a tight stop on that short entry, guys. Here comes Carver to that downside. Newegg, I'm not sure what it's doing. DD, exactly flat, so holding the high end of the day. It's exactly where that turned last time. But all eyes on Carver, which looks like it might be about to halt down.
Yeah, exactly. So watch out for Carve. We've already destroyed that stock one time here. One in And we talked about that as soon as we got in. We talked about it before we got in. We liked that pre-market break of 28.50. And then there it is. If you're just joining us for the first time, I'm out of carve. We should have held for that halt trade right there. But again, you know, I got out there. That was pretty fast. 28% profit there for us on carve. And here we go now. So Square, this is really where all the money lies for me right now. We've been getting out a little bit of this, but I still hold out for it. We'll see if we can break this VWAP, and then we'll get out a little bit at 237.50, hopefully. We have been dumping some out here. You can see where my average price is. So, you know, we did put on a big trade here. These are kind of light, but we did exit. So remember, when you're seeing these, we got out of 2/3 of our Square position right there. And then these are just averaged in prices, which is why you're seeing the average price right now of 236.66. So we'll wait to see if we can go. I do have an offer, 237.49, right ahead of that 237.50. And then I still target upside, man. I still think this can go, especially, we just need some help from our little NASDAQ friend here. Right now, red on the day. And so happy that Neil mentioned that Coinbase. That puts me into a good little spot, because my last buy on this one was 231 and change. We tweeted that out. So that's going to be a good little level. I was waiting for coin to get back down to that level to buy some more. I mean, again, you know, if the market does fall down, Coinbase will come down with it. And by the market, I mean crypto market. So we're going to wait to see. This is a big weekend for crypto. We talked about that. I think it was July 18th. Some of those GBT grayscale coins are going to be coming out. I talked to Mark about it. Both he and I are a little confused on what that's going to mean for the crypto space. So if any of you guys have any articles or anything like that, send them to me. Tweet them at me at TraderTV Sean, because I am very interested. I did lighten up on some Ethereum last night and some Cardano, unfortunately, and some Ethereum. I'm still holding on to Matic there, which is MATIC Polygon there. But people want me to talk a little bit. I saw that before about Cardano. Look, I love Cardano. They have that deal with Nigeria in Africa, the education system there. I believe that this is the next thing to go to the upside. We've already had a huge move. I'm a buyer in the teens, in the penny teens, and I haven't really been buying much. I do have an auto buy on every weekend, so I auto buys this thing. But we did sell a little bit yesterday, just caught up in here. I wonder if we retest $1. You guys know I'm a buyer every time down here, and we've been doing that. So my thought for Cardano is we're not going to do anything, guys, until we break above at least this 155, 160 area. So I'll push in a lot of my coin once we get into that area right there for ADA. So that's Cardano. That's my favorite crypto moving forward. And there's another dollar win, or almost $1, 80-cent win there on our friend Square. Let's see if it can get even higher than this, guys.
So two things. That Virgin Galactic just popped back off of 49, back into the pre-market low price of 51. I just shorted in front of that price. And then RSLS. Look, I'm going to show you a 15-minute chart here very, very quickly. $4.80 to $5 is where support might be. I maybe took off that short too early, but the setup is the setup. We get the win into that pre-market low. For those of you that are bullish on the stock, you might be looking at that 480 into 5 area for it to maybe catch a bid here. It closed at 510, so it's about to turn negative. I'll let it turn negative and then think about a dip buy on the south end of that, and then try to catch it back to the upside there. Brendo?
Is 10 o'clock. Let's get a quick check on how things stand at this point. We are positive so far, 0.7 for the S&P, the Dow leading the way so far, as we mentioned in the pre-market. 1 full percent to the upside, both the composite and the 100. NASDAQ back into positive territory. The Russell as well, up a full percent. Remember, it was small caps, the Russell yesterday, 2.5% to the downside, leading the way. A couple of things we were talking about in the pre-market. NIO, yeah, a whole bunch of ho-hum. Not a big deal here. 47. Right down to where we were yesterday, coming off of that event they had today. Some announcements coming out of China for them. CCL, travel stocks back on watch this morning as well. These were all gapping to the upside, but nice flush off the open. But look what we're doing now, trying to get back to where we started the day, holding 24, guys, for Carnival at this point. Back over to you.
Oh, yeah, CCL.
Yeah, Carnival is a good one there. We should have took that NEO out there when it went all the way to 46 there for some reason. Now it comes all the way back down and crashing here. So our NEO, we're still up on the day on NIO, but I don't know, that move, what was that about right there? EU to call for new cars to be zero emissions? That should be a good sign. Okay, so NEO drops right back down. Let's get a little more long on this one.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting the timing of that because that story just dropped like 30 seconds ago and NEO just dropped. RSLS bounces in front of that level, so we kind of go away from that. I can tell you Coinbase, whoops, I was about to go to CCL because you just brought it up. Coinbase makes the break. I mean, this is kind of like the story of the day here. Like it breaks. I'm sitting there at that 252 area. I can go ahead and cancel that order. For that scalp on the first little leg, breakout trend, I'm always going to usually scalp a little bit of it out. It goes right into like 51.70, like just kind of missing me by like 20 cents or so. But Coinbase, hopefully this is the day that we hold that 250 level. I can tell you it absolutely has been a dog and unable to do so in the last little bit. Virgin Galactic, the first try was off of the pre-market low, but it dips above that pre-market low, gets that stop out, and then kind of just hangs right back out in this range. I want to be a little bit patient with it here. It did not go down to 50.20. It's been hanging out above VWAP around that 51. I still like that 50, 250 area. I also want to be buying a dip in Coinbase here as long as we can try to hold this. This is the day I kind of feel like double top it. It's trying to get above that 50 level. If we can hold and sustain, the market's trying to get green as well. But I might have taken out this Virgin Galactic short just a little bit too soon here, guys. So I don't want to necessarily double dip too fast, but it feels like it is trying to get back below VWAP. Still prefer 52.50 on the short end of this trade, and I still think there can be some selling, especially going into the close. Watch out for this going into the weekend. Might be risk off at these levels, given how high a Virgin Galactic has come.
Before I do anything too crazy, I'm going to employ Brendan just to see if there's anything about Chinese automakers or anything like that right now, because NEO, we just did, we're not digging into it again until we hear if there is anything, because I don't really see anything, but we will look into that, maybe XPEV related, I don't know. But NEO does make that little drop down, which is kind of surprising because NASDAQ's starting to go upside, so that's, you know, I don't like to trade things counter trend too often, especially when there's moves happening that seem to be out of nowhere. So we did take another average on that drop, but we still are staring at this 45. Remember, Chinese name, we know what's happening with the government, plus we have Power Day today, so watch out for this little bit of a drop spot here. 44, basically 45 break is where you got to get out. So I don't want to do that, but here it comes right back to the upside. I guess I should have just bought more on the bottom there, but we'll wait to hear if anything is popping or not with that play. Ford, okay, it gets back upside. We let it go again. We don't cash out. We only have our small percent on right now, but Ford, again, another winner. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for 6 today. But Ford, again, looking at this 14.58, trying to go. We're long this name $6. Then again at 11, we're long GM, I think in the mid 40s. This is up to 58 right now. That would make that sparks the Ford dip. Now we got GM going, so I think if we can break through on GM, we should be able to get something here. What about a 58.60 marker right here on GM? 58.60 long. We'll test that waters for GM. 58, just this level right here, 58.64, and then we'll have to go back to AMC and see what's going on over with AMC as well, guys.
So every time someone puts Newegg as a symbol in the chat, it kind of gets blocked. I think it's obviously an acronym for something which Google must not like. But Newegg breaking through that high. When I say that high, I mean like the current high of the day. It is still trending towards that 61 price. That's yesterday's top before it had that flush. I'm back into DT. He actually had a bad stop trigger. Never broke that 12.20 level, so I'm going to end up paying spread to get back in, but already took a hit on that, but really just same size back in at 12.10. I'm looking 61s on Newegg. I'm watching. Carve is at 35 and holding VWAP for now. I thought it would flush into 30 even. We'll see what happens with that one. So it'll show me in the money on DT. Like 10 cents or so. Remember, I had that short from like 80s. My real average price, considering where I got it the second time, is about 12. So it's more of a flat trade than anything else. But watch out for Newegg. It could reverse off of that 61. And then you're looking for dips. I'd still say that 52.50 area where we tried and failed the first time. I still think that's going to be a good one if it dips from here.
Guys, it's actually Miss V blocking. We don't want you guys just spam symbols, guys.
You block
there's no point in spamming symbols. We can see them, guys. If you just keep on putting the same symbol, then Miss V's going to get you. So watch out for that. Thank you, Miss V, for doing that as well. Square 238.50 here. We're trying to have an open chat for everybody to participate, right? So that's part of why we do that. There goes GM right now, 58.66 to the upside. We'll see if it goes. It just did break that level there. there that we liked. So now we're into GM. We'll see. I mean, even if we take it out at 59, I think that's a decent spot for us as well, right at that level. We didn't even get there this morning. You know, we traveled there and then we came all the way back to the down right off the open. So I don't, you know, we may be in this one a little premature, especially if the market does come to the fade side here. A better long would have been this 58. So this one could be definitely in a little bit of trouble there. Zila comes, oh crap, we forgot. We remember we were going to get out of Zila at 38.15. It wasn't a big position for us, so that's why, but we didn't notice that. There's Zila drop down, so we give back the profit that we made there. We didn't want that to happen. Darn it for that one. We are averaged in now to NEO. It did go back into the money. No new news, says Brendan. So we will wait for NIO here as our average price right now 56. So it's not really in trouble. It's just it is coming to the downside. It's down that 0.37 more than the NASDAQ. You guys know I don't like to trade when that is the case. Square does bounce. We're another $1.40 in the money there. It did bounce off that 238 area. I'm still thinking Square has higher to go. So again, this is more aggressive than the NASDAQ today off that wallet announcement. I don't think that that's game changing. Jack Dorsey did talk about that weeks and weeks ago. So I'm not too nervous. Remember when I said we should maybe sell some Facebook, Microsoft, and Google today? Yeah, well, they're all down. Damn it. What's up, Brendan?
10-cent music, guys, talked about it a little bit yesterday. It was weak. Initially had some strength, but trying to bounce back here. We came back into basically yesterday's levels and bounced quite significantly. So volume coming back into the upsides for TME.
Watch out, Moxie just got to that high of the day here. Well, actually breaking the high of the day. It's at that 30 level. It's looking like it wants to break out. Just going to show you quickly here. It's already broken through yesterday's top. I think the last time we mentioned it, we talked about this, and now it's trying to break through that 30 even. I like to play a level like that in sort of both directions here. You know what? Actually, don't want to have my stop order there just yet. I want to have it in both directions, but right in front of that 30 with a reversal into the long side is the way I like to be able to play this one. That way, if it breaks up, I'm not saying it's going to halt because usually Moxie is a stock that I think has enough liquidity that you're not thinking about a halt trade there. But on the off chance that it does, any long I ever take in something like this, it breaks a level like that, a reversal, I'm always going to get out in front of any kind of a potential halt. If it breaks 30 and goes right to 33, I'd be running to the hills to cover for like $2 in front of it. For now, short in front of that 30 level because I got 29.88, so really risking about 20 pennies on a stock that's traveled $3. And if it breaks out to the long side, you've seen what it did the last couple of days. Brendo?
Nice day for Apple so far, guys. Just a all-time high watch coming here for Apple. 145.09, which is right up here. So it did get above yesterday's high already. So nice look for Apple so far.
I mean, not to say anything about all the haters out there, but you know, we've been telling you guys, invest in one stock and one stock only. Apple, as the king and the cream always rises to the top. As you can tell, I am an Apple fan. Not necessarily of their products, although we have about 1 million of them in my house. So I guess I am a fan of the product. A lot of talk there on DD. I know Neil's into it. I am not in DD yet. I told you guys when I would be interested, and we're getting very, very close to that spot here. What about 1220? So if we break through 1220 on DD, then your boy will get interested in that name. I'm not yet. I talked about that. Only wanted to get the short. Brendan actually called me about that again on the show as we talked about it twice. Through 1150 was the only trade that I was going to have on for DD. That didn't happen today. This is the break rate. I mean, in and around here, I think is a good breaking spot. This 1220. Now that I look at a 20 period, it might even be a bit higher than that. What about 1260 or so? But right now, I'm not into DD, so we'll wait. I do like that 1220 level, but that 20-minute chart didn't really give me any feels for that. So I will have to look one more time at that level. We just basically, you know, stared $2 in the face on Square, and then they're punishing us for that. So right now we'll have to wait to see where Square goes now. I guess I got to have an order somewhere around here, 238.20, as actually $1.80 we stared in the face. So that's not a good move by me. So we'll put an offer here, see if we can get out if it does come to the backside. That is Square.
I'm not really flushing it down the toilet, but when the stock goes down, I guess I use that key sometimes. We just talked about that Moxie. I still like the chance at that 30 even breakout. Just when you saw that, I guess I showed the 15-minute chart there, breaking through those highs, sustaining the move, makes a high, breaks to the high again. But we're gonna scalp that short trade. It was 88 short, literally. So you're risking slippage, of course, is gonna happen on a stock like this, like 12 pennies plus. I'm gonna take it out in front of you up almost every single time. So it's not quite a buck trade, but when you're only risking 20 pennies, I think that's gonna be worthwhile. 1220 was the stop area for me on that DD trade. It's kind of getting towards that high. But this is Moxie, and I still like that breakout. Even if I don't short it a second time through, I still want to have that long break when it breaks through. If it breaks 30 even, can't say when. It feels like it's likely to break that 30 even price, but there's absolutely no guarantees overall in the market. I'm going to sit in Coinbase. You're going to see it bounce off VWAP here. I averaged in off that 250, said I wanted this to be the day. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't, but it's been several times now. That's a daily chart there. Several times that you've really seen these failures through that 250 level, right? And then we had that bottom at 232 that we loved yesterday. Maybe this is the day that we can actually sustain the move on Coinbase. You see this cluster, we break out here. I want to scalp some on that break and maybe even think about a 253 break right into 255 and then sort of rinse and repeat it. The market looks like it wants to hang in the green zone today, and Coinbase, to me, has been waiting around for its chance to sustain a move to the upside and maybe get back to some of those levels that we were watching and waiting patiently for the dip buys. As Coinbase, it just was horrible. It was horrible from that direct listing on through to that 200 level. It was decent off of 250 the first time. Hopefully this is a day we hold above after gapping back down a couple of days ago. So I'm long Coinbase. It'll probably decide the day for me today. Let's be realistic about it. But I've been waiting for this opportunity in Coinbase to not only be buying dips, but actually catching a breakout for once.
Okay, so we got into DD long right now off that break. We're getting ready to get out of Square right now as it comes right back to that level. So hopefully we can cash out on that one. And then look what we just did on NEO, guys. So there we go. We punched that one in the face a little bit. Look at that bid there, 45.30 off of the low from yesterday afternoon. We take that, we sit there, and now it's cash money time for NEO, as that's going to be one of my top stocks today. 45.50. We're in the money now, 25 cents. Don't have a problem putting on shares for NEO as we continue to go to the upside now. Next target in and around these 80 levels. But again, we're going to fall off again on the NASDAQ. We came so close, Square, to getting out, and we didn't again, 238.40. So now we got to go to 238.25 or so and try to get some out on Square. But what a fun day this has been, needless to say, on the show. I hope you guys are having a good time. Neil and I both trading pretty actively. I have 45.
There was a question that I want to quickly answer for you guys. I know you guys see the lines on my chart. That's just... We'll show executions. We'll also see open orders. When you see like a turquoise line, like this in the Moxie, like obviously if I was going to buy 30.20, I'd be long right now because I'd be crossing the spread. So even my like stop order buy can show up as a conditional order, and it'll show like the turquoise is a buy. And then on Coinbase, so someone was asking what that looked like, the yellow line, and what's the difference between the yellow line and a red line. I'm long Coinbase. I have offers to sell it for the scalp trade here. You'll actually see this is that circle is when I put the order in, and then the line is where my order actually sits in the book. So I mean, we're actually literally live showing you guys where orders happen to be in the market. Oh my goodness, Virgin Galactic. We're going to go to Brendan in a quick second here, but I just wanted to quickly answer that question because you will see the lines on my chart indicating orders, but sometimes they are also stop orders. Brendan?
One that popped up yesterday, ANY, made a big move late in the day here from 280 up to 350, just coming back into that same area here. Still decent volume behind this move today, again, for ANY, guys.
Any again? Oh my goodness, that stock.
Yeah, Eddie was a good stock the last couple days there. We'll take coin as well, breaking through 251. We do like that one. We got our Square on board. We didn't cash out. We only cashed out one piece of NEO there. We still have an offer, just to let you guys know. I thought it was in the 80s there. 45.82 is the offer. So we'll wait for that one to come through there on NEO. AMC, you know what? We can go back and look at that quickly. It's just not doing anything. I wish that really we could do that there on AMC, but it really hasn't come through yet. So we're still going to wait for a little spot on AMC. I did put my order back on Square a little bit lower this time, so we'll see if that can happen very, very soon. So yeah, Jinko Solar, I know, Shakib, you've been all over Jinko Solar. Congratulations on that call as well. For DD, Coinbase now a little bit in the money, so we'll see where we go from here. But Coinbase, nice trade so far, guys. I don't know where we'll take this out, but 251.08 long. I think we break out. We love Coinbase, up that 2 and a bit. I know Neil's on that trade as well. And then DD right now falling back down. So that's why. Remember when we looked at that level and we were like, we couldn't really find too many levels. So now DD coming to the downside here. This is why, man, very, very risky longs on anything on DD. So we'll try it one more time, and we'll see where we go here on DI, baby.
I got to tweet this one out. So if I ever make, it's not quite top wick. I'm literally, look, I'm taking a screen grab right now of DD. It's not quite top wick, but I always say this when you're shorting counter trend. if you're not willing to make the top wick, then there's almost no way to do this. So 1220 was my out. 1223 is the high. Now it's right back to that 1180 area. So, well, we'll go. That's what I should have flushed myself down the toilet, but I like this one better. So, pardon me while I make sure I hit the face slap. I made the top wick. We'll go face slap. I won't hit a key to celebrate it because I just did one for you guys there, but Coinbase just continued that breakout. I had that first offer at 52. You know what? I don't want one in front of. That's the one I had, but I had 2 offers in there. One was when I originally took this trade. When I dip bought, I adjusted it. I don't know why I still had the second one, so I will cancel that. The next out I want is in front of that 255 area, so I'll put that somewhere around 253.80 or so. To the upside, I did miss a dip off of VWAP because it never quite got into 48. With a stock with a spread like this, that's more expensive, see what happens. Like, it'll go like 50 cents to $1 past VWAP, so I would never be buying that dip. I'll buy that cluster here, but I would buy the dip probably at that 248 if it had gotten there. Looking for a 253 the next leg. I promised it, so I'll show myself getting that top wick on Twitter in just a quick second there. But Carver, interestingly enough, I mean, I had said watch out if it continues that move to the downside. Look at it hold. Look at it hold 34 even there. This might be trying to jailbreak one more time. I still think if it breaks 34, you're looking at 30 for that downside push for anywhere you want to buy the dip. But this thing might go without even testing that, guys. It looks like it's holding VWAP here and wants to make another run at the top. Carver looking pretty strong so far.
Yeah, Carver, I think we've already got this one today right here for the trade of the day. Off that break, guys. We would have loved to hold that for 42, but like I said, we'll take that 25, 30% victory all day, every day, and that's right where it's hovering around. And I won't spoil it. I won't spoil, well, I just did spoil the trade of the day there, so we'll wait for that one to come through. Here goes DD. DD actually does go back for us, back to 1204, putting us basically in the money. I mean, we're long at 1210 right now on DD, but this one's going to be nasty if it does fall. We'll average into this 1150 area, but you know, this could be our first loser on board here with DD. We were able to cash out NEO, now turning red as it continues to go to the downside. Thank God we got some out there, but it is still looking lower on NEO. It doesn't want to stop, man, so we'll have to see what some of these levels are. That's 45. I mean, we're right here now from yesterday, 45.25, 44.40 as the bottom. It doesn't look like Power Day was a thing, so down 0.71 and still making moves to the downside is NIO, so we got to watch out for that. Coinbase still sitting 60 cents in the money for me, trying to break out as well, so that's going to be a good trade. And we've stepped on ourselves a couple times on Square, but now we're trying to see about that 238.25 level, trying to get some love on the backside there. We'll average into DD. It's getting close to our push spot right there at 1150. So we'll wait to see there on DD coming right back to the downside. Sucks because I didn't want to go long and I randomly picked that 1220 level. Should not have done that, guys. And I said there was more work needed, but we're going to try to hold off since this 1150. But yeah, not a good little look here for DI. I don't know if anything came out, but that turned right around, man. 60 cents straight to the downside.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I top wicked it. I was in the short and still managed to make it not work for me. There's going to happen to you sometimes, guys. 45.20. That was afternoon support on NIO. I have not taken any more shares until it got to 45.20. You can't see it there until you do this. This is the level. That's the key one there. It holds that to the upside. Well, I mean, it held that to the upside. Did not make a fresh high. When I see that yellow line, remember we have offers out, that's going to be around 46 VWAP. That's right where that top was in the afternoon. And then, of course, that pre-market high level as well. So if we bounce from here, I'll probably add to that around a 45, 75 because of this cluster. But NEO, it's still, as much as it's dropped, it's still managing to hold yesterday afternoon's price. And that's going to be the key one. Coinbase still holding up pretty nicely, but it's running into some, I don't want to say trouble, it's running into some chop at 252 even, just to go right back to the higher time frame. Again, remember, it's trying to get through this. On Wednesday, could not break that 253. Then it gapped down off of that move. That's when I said it couldn't hold that 250 level, or it failed to hold that 250 level. Today, I'm hoping is that day. I'm offering on the upside of that 253. There's likely some people looking breakout at 253, so put that order in there. It breaks, you know, that momentum can get that next leg out. At least that's what I'm hoping to the upside on Coinbase. Took some profit, but I want to be holding on to this one if I can, almost all day long if it holds that 250. I want that core position for the real big break.
Yeah, so I just saw the story here on DD, so we'll get a little bit out here. China asks websites
goodness.
to ban 25 DD apps, but DD saying hold my beer on that, I guess. Look at that bid, guys, 1160, putting us back into a nice little spot here for DIDI. So really happy with the way that's panning out for me to the upside. Not happy, but happy that we got that bounce. So a little bit of outs there. We're limiting the damage now on DIDI there. Hopefully it can go to the upside. Coinbase dollar in the money, Square $1.25 in the money, Ford 14 cents in the money. Neo, another one, man, another dip. Look at these two dip buys down there. We got to reward ourselves with Neo bids. We're back to flat on Neo. Now Neo goes to the upside, man. Hell yeah, we're hitting swishes everywhere today, guys. So unlike Giannis, we're at the free throw line and hitting these. What's up to Brendan at the big screen? Let's go, Neo.
Hey guys, yeah, a few small cap names moving around this morning. We mentioned this GALT has been very disappointing so far. Chop fest, to say the least, for this one. We were talking about 440 to 450, which is kind of the top end of this range on the daily chart. I mean, overall, we're just stuck in this range from the daily chart support, kind of 380 up to that 440, 450 area. So just chopping back and forth, still staying patient with that. Have most of that one left. We'll give it all the way back to 440, 450 for GALT. RSLS, great opportunity this morning. 6 was a pretty clear line of resistance for this one in the pre-market. Above that, 620, 615, 620 was the top end of the pre-market level. This flushed all the way down to 5. Gave you a couple of opportunities on a bounce. Even for RSLS. And then, this XELA gave you an initial long push, depending if you use 3, which is down here. That was an even better trade, but I just took that last little pivot there to the long side to 30, and then it flushes back below 320 back to the downside. So we're working down to day lows. So both directions working out pretty nicely for XELA. Back over to you guys.
This is a Zila, and I'll go back to DD just because, look, it made a bit of a bounce here at like 1165, but then failed off of VWAP. So back at that pre-market high, guys. We're right back to that price. Obviously, it's going to be a negative headline here, so DD is a stock that doesn't need necessarily excuses to go down. I want to see it test back towards that 1115, and then if it can hold that, it's going to be all systems, I think, go for a bit of a short. Virgin Galactic has been a bit of a snooze. I don't want to say it's a snooze fest, but I kind of thought it would break out, or at least break back towards that range. I covered shy here, thinking we'd get a test at 52.80, that high of the day. That does not happen. I don't want to touch it in the middle of the range. So I'm dug into Neo, and I'm long in the Coinbase breakout, which is certainly going to be working, at least for now. And then, my eyes are on Carver because it was so good yesterday. Like the last 2 days in a row, like Carver, AMC was actually pretty good for me yesterday, but Carver and Newegg were my 2 best stocks. I didn't want to get too far away from it, but Carver starting to lull asleep here. I'm still waiting around for this. Like if 34 goes, I'm thinking it is going to dip down to that 30 level. Coinbase getting very close to that 253. It breaks that. I'll take a little bit more of those shares off. We did mention, well, we're already dug into Neo. Tesla this week, it did recover back to 660 after that 635 flush out, which was that nice bottom that we liked. It was a good breakup price. It then broke back up through that 635. You can kind of see that here. Once again, you can't make it up. Look at that top there. That was like 666. It is a thing with Tesla. If it breaks, the reason I don't like a 660 break is because of that 666 there. So Tesla looking pretty weak. If it breaks 660 and then tries to roll over at 666, it's a trade you might see me put on. We're kind of running out of time, and I hate that at lunchtime. It's more of a better trade if you catch it either power hour when things are moving more or in the morning. But I still like that 666 as a key price area on Tesla. That's why I would stay away from a 660 break specifically. If it dips, I'm looking 635 because I love that level. And watch it, here comes Carver to that downside. It breaks 34, that one could flush all the way to 30.
Yeah, Carver. Okay, yeah, we're out of Carver. Just looking here, we did get, we just went and got reloaded here, the water there. So what's up to you, Shakib? And there we go, man. There's a nice out. There's our square out. So that's $1.40 or so there on that out. So we're pretty happy with that fill. That's for sure. Coinbase, I just heard Neil talking about that quickly. Oh, wow, that went to 253, eh? That was a $2 winner. We should have took that out, but we weren't sitting here. GM Square Neo. Okay, Neo. I see you there. Why did my thing not fill up there? We got out at 46. We'll wait to see if it can go even to the higher side right now. As Neo, we're long 45.25. You guys can all see that on the board. And hopefully we can get upside right now. So we're 15 cents in the money right now on NIO. Looking to get out here at 45.60, 45.80 maybe as well. We could take another piece off at any time here on NIO. So we are waiting for that one to come through. Hopefully get a little bit higher, my friend. Hopefully we can do that and then take some NIOs. Whoa, sorry about that. For a win there. I was going to put an order there at 45.50. Debating doing that, but the way this day's been going, guys, we're pretty hot fire right now. Ford just chilling out. We're waiting for that one, and then I'm gonna wait for Coinbase, and then there goes DD, guys, right back into the money now for DIDI. Needs to get a little bit higher to take some profit because these are losing trades, right? Because we were averaged in here, but we did put on double the position on the downside. So there it comes, man. I don't like this Chinese news. We should probably just get out of this right now. I don't know why we didn't get out for flat there, as DD looks to be struggling now on that news. All 25 apps of DD being banned now in China. That's not good.
Yeah, that is definitely not going to be good news. Just adjusting a little thing for my layout there. There you go. That's so. By the way, anyone that doesn't know, I actually use like a Windows feature that allows me to have multiple desktops. It's one way I'm able to do this show for you guys and have multiple symbols at the same time. So just making an adjustment there because one crashed on me. Windows, I love you so much. I'm kidding. Windows, you're fantastic. It is what it is. I'm using it. Still, look. I want this to break, of course, on Coinbase, but it's worth noting that the reason why I've taken some out, but not taking any more out in that 253 area is because this is like a break that I think has been ongoing in Coinbase, and I want to be buying the dip and then holding that core position. So yes, I am probably guilty at this particular point of looking a gift horse in the mouth, but this has kind of been the plan. That's why I sort of keep mentioning to you guys here. This is a plan of action. I want to hold that core position. I think Coinbase is probably going to decide the day. NIO and Coinbase are going to decide the day. DD did not, DD's a New York stock. DD did not break view up there. It did just touch 1185 and then reverse. So I'm going to try now a short off of that view up. I wanted to see it test one more time. Now you're consolidating. I'd probably stop out at 1190 here and then retest at the high of the day, which of course you saw me make top wick once. I don't think I've ever made top wick twice on a stock, but if we consolidate here any longer, I want to play inside of this range to the south side. If it breaks, I'm not taking 1165 because, I mean, that's Sean's level, this 1150. You can see it at the pre-market bottom. You can always take that breakdown at the low of the day on that negative news. I'd rather play in front of you up first and then look for that breakdown trade.
Yes, sir. Yeah, same kind of ideas. And again, that's why. I mean, that's just, again, it's not why, but I think that's just another benefit of the show here when we both, Neil's kind of doing the opposite of what we normally do. I'm scalping out of NIO here, and I know that you're holding that for the bigger move. So, and that's it, right, guys? Sometimes we even have opposite positions. It's just a matter of what we're looking at. We used to sit beside each other, and then COVID came. That was a little bit easier to figure out what we're trading, but we do have the ability to see at least what we're doing. Look, see, I shouldn't have even talked about NIO because now it's on the move. Yeah, so we're both long it. Now it's come out. We've emptied out our longs here. Crushed. We will get out as this. The market's getting crushed a little bit right now too. So that's not helping. Not crushed, but the NASDAQ goes positive now, trying to get negative again.
Oh my goodness.
We do have to watch out. Sorry about that.
DD just like that same move. Like I just saw NIO was dropping. Yeah. I'm like, that's gonna crash. I'm probably gonna get stopped any second now. Yeah. And then DD is about to break that 1150 at the same time, guys. So don't forget, 1150 is that breakdown price. I just put the offer in to get it in front of VWAP, and of course it's gonna break down. So we'll have missed out on that opportunity in DD, but it continues to be that just a dog. The news just never gets any better. And Coinbase, which is sitting in the money $2. Is right back in, and I'm up like 20 cents. I went from up $2 on the trade we were long in Coinbase to up 20 pennies. So market pulled back, but not like overall the NASDAQ barely moved. But I'm telling you, like specifically some of the higher flying names just got flushed at the same time. So it's interesting. We're talking about the things that are moving, and it wasn't the entire market that just went to the downside. I saw DD go down, I saw NIO go down, I saw Coinbase, a lot of these higher valuation, expensive type names, I guess, fell to the downside. Here's 1150 right here, right now on DD. Not a monster bid. Of course, that's Carver for some reason, but not a monster bid. But I don't care either way. We're going to try and take that one to the short side. I don't think it's SSR today because it held up decently yesterday. So I think we can actually hit this one when it breaks.
Yeah, I'm long, so I just went long in front of 1150, but that's the out. So we're actually, like I said, I consider it actually relatively lucky that we were able to get some out there on DD. We saw that news. We should have got them all out. So now we just do that one last hero trade, trying to go long through 1150. Not through it, but we are long right now at this level. So we'll wait to see if it goes down. We will get out, and you'll see this order automatically trigger. So I know there's a lot of you guys, pardon me, asking about sticky keys and whatnot and hotkeys. We will do a video on that, but see, that's what's loaded up right now. I have an offer to go through if we break a little lower than 1150. So that's a hotkey that I'm using right now, and it's a stop order key. So we are long in 1168 on DD. If that gets back there, man, we'll be pretty happy. But I think I just heard Brendo. What's up?
Yeah, another little one moving, guys. Sientra Incorporated just popping up at day highs here on a volume spike. So SIEN pushing 11%. There was an upgrade on this going back a couple of days ago. It's been pretty active, though, over the past couple of days, around $8, but up to $9 now for SIEN. It is 10:30. That means there's 1 hour left in the session and the week, for that matter, over in Europe. Miss V is watching what's going on over there. What's up, V?
Hey, Brandon, European markets are back to the positive territory, with travel and leisure stocks are among top gainers. Paribas trading in Paris is up around 2% after it reported a 52% jump in deliveries in the first half of the year. Back to you.
Yeah, 0.8% so far for the S&P as well. So a nice way to wrap up the week for the overall market, guys.
I'm going to do that one for NIO today. It just broke down below that. I'm going to show, where's the chart? I'm on Zila right now. I know you guys are watching some Zila. I was actually just about to talk about Zila, but then NIO broke that low. I'll come right back in. This is that first level, that 45.20 level support, and then here is on this other level here at 45, or sorry, it's technically 44.85 here. That's where the stop has to be placed. Is there a chance it comes all the way to 44.40 and then bounces off of this level here? Sure, but you know what? To me, that's a wipeout long, and I'd rather back off, take the hit, you lick your wounds, and then come right back. And if it bounces off of 44.40, then we have another chance to get back in the midst of this move. I mean, the ES is right at the high. The NASDAQ just turned red. Coinbase, which I'm telling you, Coinbase looked pretty strong. This entire time. Coinbase is now dipping back in, and we talked about buying a potential dip here. Still holding up pretty nicely. Like, we're still above VWAP, so I kind of like the notion that this one is going to continue that trend to the upside. But you got to watch out. There's some flushes going on here. DD is, oh my goodness, I'm sitting here. I guarantee you, Sean, you probably know the trader I'm talking about on the floor. I promise you, there are traders on DD. Whoops. That's one. Are you kidding me? Now we're gonna go, there we go. There are traders that are probably sitting here 51, 52 that were just long like 4 or 5 times scalping that trade over and over again. There goes again. Long 51, 52, it spikes up. They're taking like 2 or 3 cents at a time. They probably scalped that successfully. But DD here, that's that pre-market low. It doesn't look like much, but trust me, there are traders that will sit there and just over and over again. That's why it clusters like that. Like, it can't break because someone takes 10, 20,000 shares long and it pops up 2 cents and they throw it on the offer and get out. That actually makes some sense to have done. But once it happens a few times, you don't want to do it the 3rd or 4th time. Trust me. Like, I would think about that scalp long, but you just don't want to be doing it 3rd or 4th time, because the more it works, the more people will do it, and then if it breaks, the worse it gets. I'm still gonna take a breakdown short, but I will cancel this offer from the VWAP. If it holds this level here and breaks to the upside, I don't think I want to be standing in front of the train. I'd want it to bounce up there and then catch it on the way back down. So, a good idea to cancel that offer at 11.75. I've already done this here today on DD, so that's how my Friday is going. The only good thing I will say is this. The only suggestion I saw for a bet that Sean and I could do for Italy, England, come on, give me a break. You guys can be more creative than this, was that we do push-ups. That's the best you guys can do. I mean, I'll gladly do that, but that's ridiculous. There's got to be something that we can do here.
We don't
for
have,
when
like,
England,
makeup,
for when
we could
England
wear
wins,
the flags and stuff. We could wear the flags on our face.
I would have someone paint. How do you do that though? Like, what do you paint?
I mean, yeah, we need to have some sort of.
I will paint my face with an
paint.
Italian flag here if you want, because they're not going to win. So I don't mind doing that. DD just broke. I got 45 short. What kind of slippage is that? I got slipped all the way to the maximum. I crossed to 45 and I get 45. So no fill for me at 47 or 48. I'm now short DD on that break of 11.50. Coinbase just bounced without me getting it. I'm down with the face paint if you're down with it, Sean. Like, we just have to find face paint. I don't have any, obviously.
Yeah, we got to get the face paint. The kids probably are all over the face paint. Just to give you guys a little bit of an idea here on what we're trying to do. And what we're trying to do here is We got out of that DD, of course, on that break. We'll go long if it does break higher again on that name. So that's a spot to look out for here on DD. We will wait for that to happen, of course. We just talked about that. So that's going to be a spot of concern a little bit here there it goes to the downside. So we talked about that 1150 break. I'm not short anything, which I should be, because we did get into that long on DD. So that's going to be a negative stock today. Only two negative ones. It's going to be DD and NEO. So the two Chinese names that we've been sort of like not throwing shade to, but at least warning shots to on some of these Chinese names, yet I still managed to find myself long on a lot of these. But obviously, DD's going to make a move here. Let's see what it does at that 1150 area one more time.
No Tyrone Biggums.
What?
No. Tyrone's like, you guys should do a white swap. I'm like, come on, be reasonable about it. But someone just said that we could color Neil, you should color your hair. Like, what hair? I can't dye, dye what? Like this? I don't have much hair there, guys. So good suggestion. I think we're going with the face paint because that makes the most sense to me. We'll figure it out. I just scalped some out of DD here. Look, if I'm going to slip 5 cents there and pay down to 45 instead of getting 48, I'm still going to take some out when it goes to that 38 level just to come back down to the higher time frame. Look at what DD did all afternoon at 11:15. If you can't guess that it's worth taking profit between 11:15 and 11:25, then look at barcoding action. Barcoding action, these clusters, we say barcode and cluster all the time, and for good reason. I anticipate it's going to do the same thing if it gets down to around that quarter mark, so I want another offer there. If it pops back up, I'll short some more in front of 1150. Until then, we can kind of sit in this trade, one that's actually working. For me, it's like Coinbase and DD, and everything else stinks. Okay, fair enough. I made money on AGRI, I made money on RSLS, but everything else has been absolute crap. It's NEO that's frustrating me the most because I really like that dip buy. It's worked in the past. Did not happen here and today. And then Virgin Galactic's doing nothing. DD, I want to be happy about it, but anytime you make top wick and you see this move like that, it's like I wanted DD short. I wanted DD short into yesterday's tops. I took it, got stopped out, and then you finally see the flush come through, guys. So it's not enough to have a bias. I kind of say this all the time. You got to be able to execute that trade. Clearly on DD, you need to give it a little bit more room to shake a few more people out there, have more diamond hands or whatever you guys want to call it there on that short trade. Now I got it late. Doesn't mean I'll be up on the stock. I need it to drop past 11 probably for that to happen.
Yeah, the worst part is that it's going to be one of my negative stocks, and we talked about DD right on here as being look short 1150. I mean, how easy was that, Ed? We don't even have it because we were long. So yeah, about that there for DD. So we'll wait on that. Coinbase, of course, we want to average into that trade. GM, Ford, Square, finally, guys, starting to take off. We like this Square trade. This is $1.66 in the money right now on SQ, so we like that trade. We'll see where we can go from here, even taking out this high. We already got the high wick today, so the high Wiccans, does that make it? It's normally bottom Wiccans, but the high Wiccans right there, we got that one. DD, we now are short into this 40 level. We'll wait to see here where we go. If we break back above this 1155, then that will be a nice little roller coaster for us today on DIDI. But here we go to the short side. I have 4 times the shares short now that I did long, guys.
Yeah, so we're getting some interesting suggestions there. I did not reload in DD yet. We'll try to get there if we bounce back to the upside, but interesting suggestions that we're seeing. There is no way we're trading without stops. The loser, I saw someone saying Timbits. If you guys want to put on a bet where the loser eats Timbits, I don't understand how that would possibly be a punishment. I want to go to Virgin Galactic here because this is a trading show. It's bouncing back towards this lower high at 52. If I was patient before, I will remain patient again. I want that test of the actual top here. Look, yesterday's close 52.70. Pre-market high at 52.80. Ignore that dark pool print. Off the open, fail right here at like 52.60. So I will let this come into that price before we get out of it. Before we get back into that trade. I do want to be trading this one. I definitely want to be looking at it in the power hour because of the launch that they have coming up this weekend. They're not sending me into space. That'd be nice. I'd love to go. Coinbase, again, holds off VWAP, and I said it before. It's like allow it on a VWAP dip buy to kind of test VWAP and then bounce back up. It just held 250 on a dime here. I don't want to be adding just yet, but I do want to find a spot to add to that long position. If it tests 53 again and fails, I will probably take some out between 252 and 252.50, bag another couple of dollars worth of profit, and then find another entry point there, guys. I still see no reason to get out of this. I mean, the market is still holding to the upside, and Coinbase kind of feels like it's been primed for this breakout anyway, so I want to stay in that long. Brendo is at the big screen. It's time for Sector Watch. That looks better than the long feels somehow. Brendo?
Yeah, better a good word. Pretty much the exact opposite of what we saw yesterday on this board. It was very, very red yesterday, not so much today. I want to focus right here, though, to start things off. Information technology stocks, and specifically the software makers, all kind of under pressure here. DXC and Oracle standing out as relatively strong so far today, up 2.7 for those two. But the rest of these, a lot of them to the downside. Not huge moves, but kind of 1 to 1.5%. For some of the software makers. So tech stocks are actually lagging a little bit. Hardware equipment makers trying to help offset that. WDC, HPE among the notable names there to the upside. But if I come over here, it's the banks that are bouncing back nicely. The individual banks at the bottom here, the entire group in positive territory. Nice look here, 2.5 to 4.5% for banks so far today. Diversified and insurance companies all having a nice session. Industrial stocks all in positive territory as well. The capital goods group, every single name to the upside. The lowest there, 0.02. But hey, it's positive. Some of the airlines here bouncing back as well, as we said. UAL, Love, AAL here as well. All about 2% to the upside. So a nice bounce back day for the overall market. Quickly, energy stocks and material stocks also putting in nice bounce back days, up about 5.5 to 2.5%. Right across the board for those. Overall, 0.77, guys, for the S&P. Back to you.
Kung Fu trading. Loser has to go to the. I'm going to show. Has to go to the other country and stay there for 1 month. So I get to go to Italy and stay there for a month, and Sean goes to England.
That's getting a.
That's the greatest. What? You have a problem with that? That's a fantastic idea. As a matter of fact.
England? No, I'd rather be here in Canada.
So no, it's just look. These are all fun, of course. I think we're going with the face paint. That makes a lot of sense to me. This is the kind of day I've been having here. We talked about the RSLS, and I get it. I was getting like trash talk by somebody in there for shorting RSLS, and that ended up working out. But it was a long off of 480 to 5 even.
Cold.
It dips to 510, so it gets close to that range, then it makes a bounce to the upside. So again, miss it just by a little bit. These dip buys are tricky. Like you get in NEO too early, and that is an absolute dog. 2 days in a row now. Like I miss Coinbase by pennies, miss RLS by pennies again. Although it slows down, and the volume spiked in here to 6, but kind of slows down a little bit. If this retests that 6 even area where it flushed off the open, where I was shorted in pre-market, I'd look for a rollover trade there. But you also have to consider the 625. So it'd be tight stop at 6, and it kind of seems ridiculous, but that's what I would do. Like 590 to 595, tight stop at that 6 level, and then if it breaks that, I'm looking for that 675. After a wipeout like this, 625 break could still be in the cards for this stock. So I kind of want to have that one on radar throughout lunch and power hour just in case the shorts don't work. I mean, it did the first time. Let's see if it does the second time. So I'm looking 90, maybe like 95, maybe stretch it to like the high 80s at absolute best to get the first third in there. But RSLS, haven't had it since the open flush, looking to get back into this one.
I'm not hating. I mean, look, I've been to London, England. I've been to lots of places. I've been to Manchester, where Manchester United plays. Old Trafford,
Liverpool.
Absolutely fantastic. It's just like England and Canada. I mean, it's like, okay, just the culture there at London Bridge. It's absolutely fantastic. I definitely want to go there. Actually, I told the wife that one of our next trips will be to London, England, and we'll go there and we'll pack our rain boots and whatnot. Although it's rainy right now in Toronto, it's only 20 degrees Celsius right now. So yeah, Italy apparently is blazing right now. So we may go. Actually, my last trip was to Rome. So we were gone to Italy. Look at this. So DD, I told you guys we loaded up our shorts there, and we did, and we got some good covers. 11.25, 11.27, I think was our best. Yeah, 28s, I guess. 28s, 29s was our out there on that. We do have lower bids. They just never got filled. I was actually bidding 26, 23, 24, all the way to the downside there on DD. So that never got filled. Wondering if that little move to the downside there. Look at the volume, obviously on that 11.50 break. We thought that would be a high volume, but then this is a little bit of a problem too, because you do have high volume right back on those dips as well. So yeah, not a great little sign there for some dip buys on DD. Good for dip buys, not good for holding the short. Square still bouncing around, guys, at the day's high. Glad we held this one all the way up here. We still are waiting for that day high that we already have, but some of these buys out. So that's going to be a good trade for us on SQ, nicely positive. And then we reloaded down here on coin. So now if we can get back into this 253, we won't. won't stare that in the face one more time, we'll probably get out. Brendan has something else.
Some increased chatter on this one once again today. Remember from a couple of days back, Sequential Brands, SQBG. We were talking about it this day, made a big move all the way up here to 25, just starting to go here. Volume through 15, guys, SQBG.
I don't remember what the news was on Sequential. Oh, there we go. Like this should actually be pretty easy to figure out here, guys. So I just got into that RSLS. I don't know, we'll hit, I haven't been able to hit this one very often, so I guess we'll hit it today because this has actually been a pretty good stock for me. The one that I got trash talked the most for in the chat ends up being one of the better ones here. Comes right back in. I said, okay, put on a third. I did say 90s to like 6s I would like better. Maybe put on a third in the high 80s. Was able to get 88s there. And then last time, where were we getting out? In front of this cluster right here, like that 7 even breakout price. We took some out at 72s. On the open, we took some out at 72s. Here on the same trade, we take some out at 72s. I guess I'm a little bit predictable there. It's about 15 pennies, 16, whatever, who cares? That's probably a better number, 16 than 15. Figure out why for hockey. If it breaks breaks VWAP here, will I take some out in front of this 540 to 550? Absolutely. I still like getting back in front of that 6 level, but if 6 breaks, I'm covering and looking to get back in if it fails at 625. So the plan of action stays intact there. Still holding that DD, but it was unable to get any more shares there. Still only have those 45s. RSLS has been okay. Coinbase is the other one that's looking, it's barcoding for now, but it's barcoding above VWAP. So the trend has been holding on Coinbase. I mean, if we extend this move, the NASDAQ now up 0.15%. Doesn't seem like much, but after yesterday's action and some of the flushes that we've seen, I think I like the opportunity for us to maybe rally into this one. And Coinbase has been a solid one here. I'm just going to double check. What is spot doing right now? We're holding like 32.5 on Bitcoin in particular. So Coinbase, I want you to continue this move. This is what could happen if Coinbase catches a base above that 250 level, right? You're looking at like a 260 breakout, and sometimes, you know, like the last time I added to this thing was actually not as good as like 217. I caught some in the 220 range, but I've been sort of waiting for two things. One, either to actually get it at the absolute bottom again in front of 200, which I don't think is going to happen, or we just catch it when it breaks. I mean, if it breaks this 261, I think we can catch that breakout. Maybe we get some next week in front of like 250 if we close above that today. Either way, there's so much room. And the next level up, if we break out here, I mean, I don't see why we're not getting back to that 300. And that's what I think everyone's been waiting for on Coinbase. In those big tanks that we saw in Bitcoin, like Coinbase would go down like a few bucks because it was already off those lows. That's the stabilization we talked about. So yeah, we're betting on it today, but I also think that we can make those moves in the next couple of weeks, hopefully holding above 250, breaking that 261, and onwards to 300.
Yeah, we love some Coinbase there for sure. So we're long into that one, and we were 8 cents out of the money. We'll see where we go on this, though, on that trade. So that's going to be Coinbase. Right now, Square, nice bump on Square. Big bump, actually, to Square to the upside right now, 239.25, right back to day's high. I don't know, this thing is rocking right now. That is Coinbase, rocking to the upside. We'll see why and where it's going, but that's a nice move here. For Square. Coinbase not following suit, but Neil just talked about that. DD does make another push upside to where we got short. So we've been cashing in. I could turn this trade positive on us for the day. We should have already been crushing this stock and waited for this 1150, but we didn't get patient. We talked about taking out that high there. Neil and I have opposite trades on that move, and then took out some profit, thank God, on that move, and then got hit there out on the flush, then back short, and then took some money on the short. So now we wait to see where we're going to go with DD. I still like it. Like, don't get me wrong, I still will play this break, guys, on this name. If we do break higher on DD, I'll also take that long. So I'm not afraid to go there with that, but at the same time, it's not looking pretty right now for DD here on the downside. I thought that move was definitely got some cold water thrown on it there at 11.25. Look at that. What a surprise. Yesterday's bottom there holds today. So that's something to look at if you're joining us for the first time. These are levels and things that Neil and I always look at, key levels from the past day. And I told you I was loaded up here. I had 26s, 23s, 24s. I had all these bids loaded up, ready to go. It just did resist from there. So little bit of an early mover there on DD, and does not take out that bottom at 11.20. So yuck on that one. Zila back to $3. Microsoft not doing too much. AMC, let's take a look at that. I mean, why do I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 positions right now? None of them super huge. AMC does break down. We only have that one trade off the sticky note early. We should have been maybe long on that. Now we're looking at 44. We didn't want to do anything now until about 45. So there still is that play to come through here as we look at 45 now on AMC. But I don't know. Well, again, more work needs to be done because as of yesterday, there was nothing there on AMC. And here goes Coinbase, Neil. Now $1 in the money for me.
This time, look, like I said, I'll probably take some out in front of that 250.
I will.
It's at lunchtime. Like, how do you not? I think at this point, but sequential brands. It's easier to say than SQBG. Halted to the upside. Yes, I see it. Look, it's a 5-minute halt, so I'm not going to. No need to interrupt when the thing's not going to open up for another couple of minutes. I just got locates like 2 cents a share. That's actually a fantastic price. Day trade the world. But it's already broken through what was like this bottom. Like it was a previous bottom at 16 even, which I thought would have been resistance. So it's broken through what would have been anticipated resistance on this first halt. If it opens up, watch out for like 20 even, guys. This was like a fail a couple of times here after its biggest move upside. Fail a couple of times back through 20 even. So if it gets to that price, that's where I'd be looking for a turn on sequential brands. If I take a short that is not about that reopen setup, then it would be in front of 20 even specifically here on sequential brands. It's 1050. Got to get to money talk. Say some good things about crypto, please. What happened?
All right, guys, let's have a quick look at currency markets here. We'll get you back over to DD in a second. Positive overall for most of these today. We're seeing a little bit of US dollar weakness to end the week. I want to focus on this one real quick. The Aussie dollar trying to get back above 75. Not quite there yet, but key levels for the Australian dollar up about 0.8 so far today. The Royal Bank of Australia talking earlier in the week about a cautious approach to interest rates in that country. So a little bit of positivity coming back in for this one as well. 0.5% for New Zealand. You can see the Turkish lira down about 0.4%. Yeah, positive for cryptos as well. All three up about 2% so far. Top end of the board, Euro 0.2, Canadian dollar. We did get back below 80, but has to be back above today. 0.4% for the CAD. Guys, we're back above 80 cents. Back over to you.
Boo, we don't like that news on the CAD, but good for CAD for sure. Good for CAD.
You do this.
What was that? Yeah.
Oh, that's for, okay, so anyways, that's for, okay, DD went to the downside there, so I guess we should have been celebrating that instead. But Coinbase, like I said, got to take some profit out this time. It gets up to that 252 range one more time, so I get some out in front of that 53. I'm still holding along. I still want to try to find a place to buy the dip. I can tell you that first stop on our, did I really just get that horrible wick on RSLS? That first stop on RSLS is that 6 even go, so we're able to get this one at VWAP. And then we go back in, like I said I would, in front of 6 with a tight stop at 6 even. I know it's going to seem like a really, really tight stop, but that's the way I want to approach it. I'm willing to be wrong here for a small amount in the case that we can take a better trade here, failing at 625, where I think there would be a bigger opportunity. Can always willing to be wrong about it, but I want to make sure I preserve the fact that I'm up on the day in this particular one. Then DD was the last one here. With minutes to go, it's on New York. With minutes to go, DD just breaks down through that low of the day, fresh lows of the day. I'm just going to go back to 11 even here because this is yesterday's action. Right at the open, this is an 11 bottom, so you can probably guess where I would get the rest of this out in front of 11 even. 11 even will be its own break on DD. There's not a heck of a lot to look at on this chart below this because it hasn't been trading for very long, but DD cannot seem to get out of its own way. There are going to be a lot of people unhappy with this IPO, I promise you that, and there's going to be a lot of chatter about investigations, litigation, maybe rightfully so, because this has been a disaster for a stock that actually, when we first came out and we saw the strength in that second day, it looked like it made a lot of sense. Their numbers look pretty solid as well, but that risk is what it is when it comes to the Chinese regulators. You can't avoid it.
Okay, guys, so right now we're on fire. We smoking this market right now. If you just saw that graphic, that's the market that's in my mouth, not what you guys might thought it was, although it looks awfully like that. Okay, here goes Coinbase, guys. $2.15 in the money right now. So that's a $2 winner we have on board for you, $2. We have another $2 winner on board for you right now, Square. $2 in the money on Square. We have a 25-cent winner right now on DD. We made back everything that we lost on this. Can you believe that? that. So that's a good trade. I told you 4 times. And that's the thing. Like, you guys have asked me about that. We may not show our share size, but I don't have a problem telling you when this happens. And a little bit of that was a revenge trade for me. And because, I was so upset that we didn't have the initial short that I just said, F this, basically, and load it up. That means forget this. I loaded up everything there on this dip, which is pretty much good as you can get there. I'm happy with that 42 spot on DD. Obviously, we would have liked a little bit more than that, but that's fine. So we're happy with that, and now you go all the way back to the downside, so that's a nice little move here. You're seeing crypto starting to go a little bit. I did tell you that I lightened up a bit. Whoops, no, we don't want that. We want to go to a minute chart here, showing you guys there, crypto starting to go. Bounce off 2060 up to 2180. This is going to be a big weekend for crypto, so watch out for that. It always seems to dip down. DD going, Coinbase going. Ford doing absolutely nothing, GM doing nothing. Really, we're gonna have to wait for the end of the day on that one. But there goes Square, guys. Yes, sir. We'll be doing a lot of barbecuing this weekend for sure. We also have the McGregor-Poirier fight. That should be fun to watch. But there goes Square, now $2.50 in the money. Coinbase, $3 in the money. That's not Coinbase, that's DD. Coinbase, $3 in the money and still trying to go. So what a way to end the show, guys. This has been a monster. I mean, I have 2 $3 winners on board for you right now. So good trading today. Glad you're a part of it. And let's just keep on rocking and rolling. Follow us all on Twitter.
Yeah, and this is why I just talked about that RSLS. Seems like a tight stop, but that's the reason why I do it here, because I wanted to test up to that 620 area. Now, it doesn't quite get to 25, so I might miss an entry there if it rolls over from here. I'd love to see it consolidate, but this could be the day. This could be the day, I think, for that Coinbase. I mean, it's up there. We're going to hold that core position. I anticipate trying to be in this one almost all day long. Kind of said that from the beginning. I wanted that for NEO when it didn't work, but at least Coinbase is doing the right thing. RSLS, we've sort of been able to play this one like a fiddle. I'm not done with it. If this is the rollover and I've missed it, I don't think I'm done with this trade, even if I might have missed the opportunity to catch a short off of that 625 area. We got 4 minutes to go. I still feel like we're going to go with the face paint one because that makes the most sense to me. So go England. The Lions should be strong. As long as Mr. Sterling keeps on getting those Academy Awards, I think we'll be okay.
Yeah. I would have. England outplayed the Danes.
No, they did outplay them. Like I'll be the first to admit. Like all homerism aside, that was a pretty weak penalty. It's got to be frustrating.
It wasn't even a penalty. They even went to video replay. It doesn't matter. England outplayed.
Hey man, they called it, so it's a penalty.
I know they called it. Yeah, no, it's in the books as a penalty. That's for sure. Okay, so DD, just to give you guys an update there, it's unbelievable that we're able to make that money back. But DD now down to 1106, and it's just if I've learned anything today. Well, I mean, I learn something every day, but it's just, not is it just to follow the sticky note, forget about that, I make that myself, I know what's on here, but it's to be a little more patient, right? And we talked about struggling to find a DD long, and we took it once it broke, that 1220, that was a mistake. We struggled to find that long. We should have not taken that one, so that was just a mistake there. If we only held this, man, wow, that would be nice, but here goes DD to the downside, 30 cents in the money off 1150 level, so that's a good one. And then the other stock that we're negative today on, which is the only other one, is going to be this NEO, as we tried. And the funny thing is like I'm barely negative. I can just make a trade right now and go positive on it, but we're not going to do that just because look at this. These are all winning trades, man. It's just this last one that dropped below 45 puts us into the red. So let me just tell you something here. So I am red NEO. 20% of what I'm green on Square, right? So that's just to give you guys a little bit of an idea on sort of, why I don't really care about that NEO, but we still do care about it. I know a lot of you guys are in this trade, so that's why you got to scalp, so that you don't have that big red negative day. And we have no idea. Most of the time, I'm the one holding some of these trades until the year end, but we were able to scalp out a little bit there. Coinbase still only $2 in the money. It does go three and change for us there, but we don't take that out. Just reviewing some of the trades before we let you go. Square, I still think we take out new highs here, so I'm going to hold that one hopefully till the end of the day. And then Carve, really my best trade just from the setup, because we did take that, we took that, then we got out there just before it halts. and then now you have some upside of 42, so we do miss the complete upside. But hey, guys, it's another positive day. This will be the Euro Cup at some point on Sunday, as the Italians will raise this above their head, and hopefully it will be a good game there come Sunday. We're also going to get ready for that McGregor-Poirier fight if I can stay awake that late on Saturday.
I'll go 1-0 as a score. I know it seems like pretty unexciting to me.
You think Italy's only going to score one goal?
I'm going 1-0. 1-0 for the Lions is what I'm going to go for. Nice try.
Wow.
Italy's only one goal.
Maybe if they're playing the Detroit Lions, maybe, but we'll wait to see there. Yeah, Italy's going to score at least one, Neil, so I think you got to change that to 2-1 there, but we'll wait to see. Good call. I'm going to go with 2-0. Could be 3-0 Italy, but we'll wait to see where that does go. I've already pushed in, man. My money is already in a lot on Italy, so we'll wait to see what happens on that game. But there's Carver, just giving you guys a quick look on that. Not much happening as Coinbase falls back down and Square keeps going upside.
Yeah, we got one more thing before we get out of here. Also, I'm going to get into that SQBG. I actually just got an SQBG a few times with some really, really tight stops, but I think it might be reversing hard here. One thing we do before we get out of here is we always go to Miss V. I know it's 11 o'clock. We didn't forget. See what national day it is.
Hey guys, I hope your Friday is going great, you're profitable and in a positive territory. It's super great to see that you guys on the chat have a great imagination and sense of humor, so I wish you a great rest of the day and a wonderful weekend. One thing before you left, guys, please double check if you like this video. We really need your support and we'll work even harder for you if you'll give it to us. And happy National Sugar Cookie every day. Every day sugar cookie.
All right, I like sugar cookies. Yeah, they're easy to make. The kids definitely like those as well. Sugar cookies, definitely good. Dip it in the little coffee there. There's the Italian coming out. Look at this, guys. Ford, we just took another bid there at 28. We did cover some at 30, but this is a big position for me. 3 times more shares than we've ever had on Ford on the show so far today. So we did take some out there for 2 pennies. They're 31s. So now we're going to hold the rest as we'll see about an upside move here for Ford. Hopefully now at the bottom. Maybe we got this thing. If it breaks below 14.25, we'll get out. So there we go. That's my little thing there on Ford. But yeah, I like sugar cookies. You guys?
Sugar cookies? I'm not a sugar cookie getter. I am a rapper. That is a line from Chappelle's Show. It's an absolute classic. Anyways, if you've never seen Chappelle's Show, I'll drop enough lines for you guys if you watch this show enough to get it. I'm not a huge sugar cookie fan. I have to admit that. I got a sweet tooth, but sugar cookies, not my favorite. I love the Oreos without the inside. That's my favorite cookie if it's not oatmeal raisin. Sean, you know about me and that.
I love the Oreos. Brendo?
Brendo?
I'm going to say this for Brendo.
Pass.
Anything with the S word in it, Brendan is a hard pass. But maybe if it was made from guava or whatever, would that be good enough there, Brendan? Is that the
Can't say I've ever had anything made from guava.
Isn't that the natural sugar?
You've got to have guava jelly made in Antigua. It is absolutely delicious. It's like put it on some hardo bread, and then it's like, I'm telling you, man. Like if you go to the islands, get some guava jelly. It is unbelievable. 1,500 we just got to. Miss V is. Leave it there. Don't.
Thank you for the support,
we can
guys.
roll out with Miss V dancing. Why not? For the entire team down the line. Make sure you come back for 3:15. Power Hour should be a good one to end off the week. Hey, there's SQBG. That's a $1 winner. But down the line for Miss V, for Brendan Wickens, myself, Neil Arvitz, and my man Sean Katina, England's going to win. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Trader TV Live. We'll see you at the close. Go Lions.
Bye, guys.